Hi, this is King Butcher. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. Sorry about the technical issues that we had earlier. I had to update this shit, so that's what happens. But anyways, guys, welcome to the show. Everyone in the chat, same Brit Sports. What's up? Friendly Fire, Ignorant Boxing, Jack Branning, Triple JJJ, SSB28, PC George, Garfield. Yeah, Garfield. Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah, anything goes today. And yes, we will have a second Renaissance. I know a lot of people kept asking us if we were going to have a second Renaissance yesterday. Unfortunately, we just couldn't have one, but we will have one today right after this show. So stay tuned for the second Renaissance. If you're not subscribed to the second Renaissance, please go ahead and do so. I'm going to post a link right now. Where is it? Check the chat, people. Check the chat. And yeah, go and subscribe to the second Renaissance. Trying to do like a French accent. All right. We have Stu on the line and Mr. BDA. Guys, welcome to the show.
What's up, boys?
What up? What up? I don't know if BDA is going to be coming in and out. But anyways. Yeah, Stu, anything goes. We're going to open the phone lines and StreamYard. So people in the chat, if you want to talk about anything related to boxing, just let us know. Stu, what do you want to talk about? The lightweight division, or are you fed up with that?
Look, if anything goes, then let's talk about anything that's boxing anyway.
Right.
You know, I'm not really fussed, to be honest with you. I mean, look, I was hoping you had some topics for me to talk about.
Well, people are still talking about the lightweight division. All these boxers, who's going to fight who? Is Devin Haney ready? Yeah.
That definitely seems to be the division that everyone's talking about at the moment. And that's what it is, because it's fresh in people's minds, you see. That they're the guys that have been fighting me. And they're making the most noise, aren't they? Let's be real. They're all calling each other out. And it's quite good to see. I mean, even Teofimo's in the background, upset that no one wants to fight him. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's trying to get involved, but no one wants to a part of Teofimo right now. They're all after Ryan Garcia at the moment. They all want a piece of Ryan.
Well, why is that?
And to be fair to Ryan Garcia, I mean, look, he's been calling out Tank, and to be fair to him, I mean, fair play to the kid, because I mean, if I was Ryan Garcia, I'd go after Haney first before Tank. Tank punches.
So you feel like these lightweights, most of them are going after Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, they see that. I suppose they see a
weakness.
They see it. I don't know if he rubs people up the wrong way, or they just see him as a way to get popularity, you know, sort of thing. I don't know, man, because he's quite a big name, but he's not really a pay-per-view star yet, so I don't understand why they're so hell-bent on getting hold of Ryan Garcia. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's the one that's making the most noise on Twitter and stuff. Instagram, whatever.
Is it because he got dropped?
Well, of course it is. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, once a fighter shows a weakness, then they all come out to play, don't they? It's like when Golovkin started slowing down, showing weaknesses. They all wanted to turn up and fight Golovkin, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's when Pacquiao started. Once Marquez knocked Pacquiao, everyone wanted to fight Pacquiao. You know what it is. You know that's what I'm saying. It's like that's the thing in boxing. You get a lot of guys that have got this aura about them, what scares a lot of fighters off. And it's only when someone goes in there and beats them is when then they want to have a go, sort of thing. It's like when Mike Tyson had the aura about him and Buster Douglas beat him. All of a sudden, everyone wanted to fight Mike because they knew there's big money and there's a chance they could get the win, land one on the button. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the way I see it. But like with Ryan Garcia, because he's not really a pay-per-view star, I'm not sure why they're so keen to get hold of him. Maybe they want to get hold of him now before he starts to prove maybe that. But yeah, I think Tank. I don't see what Tank's getting out of fighting Ryan Garcia right now because he's a world champion sort of thing. And surely he's got better fish to fry. He should be going after other guys, but he seems to want a piece of Ryan as well.
Ryan Garcia is I believe, WBC interim champion. So that's what I said in a video that I posted yesterday. He's not a prospect anymore. Officially, he's not. I don't. I mean, some people might see him as a prospect. I see him as a contender at this point.
Look, oh, sorry, you're sorry. Yeah, I'm
Jesus.
tired. I'm sorry about that. Tired. It's getting late in the UK. Getting old. Yeah, I mean, Ryan Garcia seems to have a lot of noise behind him at the moment. I think they're trying to jump on the bandwagon. If they can go in there and stop Garcia, they're probably hoping they get a few fans on. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have the answers on that one.
Well, can I add something here to this? Well, hello to everybody. But also, once that's out of the way, I just noticed here, Ring TV's lightweight rankings, they got Ryan Garcia number 2 now. They moved him up number 2, which in my mind, I don't know what you fellas think, but I think that's fair. I mean, he stopped a guy that had never been stopped before. And he answered a lot of questions that we had for him. And, Stu and Bucho, if you had to give him a ranking or from, like, if it was school, a test, what would you get to giving him? B, A minus?
I'd say like a B plus. Going forward, very nice on the eye, very explosive. And he's got speed. Them punches, there's a lot of speed behind him. That's why he's hurting these guys, because his speed always kills. Do you know what I mean? But defensively, there's things to work on. I mean, that punch that Luke Campbell landed, I mean, he was standing square on with his chin in the air and his hands down. Just got far too complacent. Mm-hmm. He probably tasted Campbell's power. I thought, I can eat this all night. But that's the worst thing you can do. Think like that,
right? Because
you let anyone that's at world level hit you clean on the button, then you're going to go over. And that's what happened with Luke Campbell. And that's what happened. And let's be real, fitness got him out of that one. He's obviously trained hard and he's obviously in good shape. That got him out of that, and he got up and he put it right. So you got to give him credit for that. So for me, B plus, C, around that area.
Bucho, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess I would say a B, and that's because he got dropped. But then again, it's Luke Campbell. He's not a bomb. These people calling in, Luke Campbell's a bomb, whatever. I mean, he's not a bomb. He went 12 rounds with Lomachenko, with Linares, competitive fights. He's an Olympic medalist.
Sorry, Guto, just 1 second. I meant B minus, not B plus. I meant B minus.
Oh, okay. But
I'll give him a B. Okay, we're going with the plus and minus. Yeah, I'll give him a solid B. Not a B plus, a B. Kind of the same thing as Stu. He got dropped.
It's hovering on a B minus, a C for me. Because let's be real. I mean, all fighters make mistakes. I'm not going to start there and pick out mistakes. But he made such a massive error that night. If that's Tank Davis in there, he's not getting up.
No.
It's interesting that the fact that we're still talking about this fight, even though it happened last Saturday, shows you that, and just the hype that was behind that bout. I mean, that's when boxing gets it right. I was talking to Bucho the other day about 2001 and 2002. 2001 was the year of the upsets, because you had Barrera beating Nassim Hamed at the beginning of the year. Then you had Hasim Rahman knocking out Lennox Lewis. Then you had Hopkins beating what's his name, Trinidad. And then you had Costa Tszyu beating Zab Judah. And then in 2002, it spilled over a little bit when Mayweather fought Castillo and should have lost that fight. And then Forrest beat Mosley and so on and so forth. And then I started thinking, there's nothing esoteric or mystical behind that. It was just the best finding the best. And that's what...
of course, mate.
Yeah.
No, you carry on, Billy. I just agree with you.
Well, I was just going to say, so when people say, oh, this guy sucks because he's got 2-3 losses, actually that probably means the guy's fighting the best. It's like Lomachenko. He lost to Lopez. All of a sudden, he's overrated. Yeah. But then the same people that were rooting against Lomachenko are saying that Lopez is overrated because he hasn't fought their hero, Devin Haney. So, yeah.
And the thing is, though, BDA, back then, these guys were fighting each other in their prime. And this is what happens when you get two world-class operators fighting each other in their prime at the top of their game. I mean, you're going to get fighters who, even champions, they're going to be switching. The fighters ain't going to be holding their belts long when you're fighting the best, and that's what was happening back then. They were swapping as champions because, it's hard. The fucking Mayweather knew in the end that he couldn't have kept that belt if he'd have kept on fighting all the young lions that was coming through. He had to pick his opponents in the end because he slowed down. And but some of them fighters didn't have that privilege, and they had to fight all these up and coming guys. I mean, look, Lennox Lewis, he had say what you like about Lennox Lewis, mate, but they put every obstacle in front of that guy. Honestly, they did, man. He had to fight all comers. He had to fight knockout artists. He had to fight old school fucking legends of the ring. Do you know what I mean? He had to fight Holyfield and Tyson, and even like Galata, who was coming off I know he got beat against Riddick Bowe, but he was beating the brakes off of Riddick Bowe twice for me. And like I said, and Lennox Lewis did him in a round. They're putting everyone. Michael Grant was a dangerous guy when he fought Lewis. Everyone was saying Michael Grant's this dangerous guy. Shannon Briggs, 36, well, they've had 30 odd first round knockouts when Lennox Lewis stopped him. So there's always putting big challenges in front of him. Today's guys, because they just can pick and choose. Look at Wilder, how he got away with doing. He'd drag this bum up and then recycle him again in a few years, like Stavern. And I mean, Ortiz, that Ortiz. What did Ortiz do in that first fight to convince anyone that he wasn't getting knocked out again? But yeah, he gets another shot. This is what I'm saying about today's fighters. Joshua's probably the only one that's taken the best challenges he can. Even though the two most dangerous guys out there, he's not fought. So even Joshua's got his flaws with that. So look, man, that's the difference between the 90s and today. The 90s, a lot of these guys, they didn't have choice. They didn't have a choice to fight these fucking warriors. I mean, look at Vernon Forrest. He beat Shane Mosley twice, and he's stuck in there with Mayorga. Do you know what I mean? There's just no rest for the wicked. So, and that's why boxing was. That's why we all love boxing. And let's be real. If boxing started, say, 5 years ago, would we be really boxing fans? No, it'd be hard to swallow, wouldn't it? What we've seen recently. I mean, it's picking up a little bit, but we've seen mismatch after mismatch.
Yeah. Terrible. We have G Boogie here, but go ahead, G Boogie. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, greetings and salutations.
What up?
How you doing, G Boogie?
Not much, just listening in. And yeah, Stu, but see, the reason we can all agree how boxing was competitive back then is because everybody chose to fight everybody. Simple. And Lennox Lewis, he's up there in the top rating for me in heavyweights because he challenged himself every second of the time.
Yep. People forget about Lennox Lewis.
This is why I always defend Lennox Lewis. I mean, I've got him. I mean, a lot of people can't accept this. I get trolled in the chat, but I've got him as the greatest heavyweight of all time. And I know people like to get sentimental with Joe Lewis and Muhammad Ali, who are in my top three. For me, I mean, Lennox Lewis, not only did he beat the best, he beat all the young lions coming through. There were some real dangerous guys coming through at the time. He fought them all. Tommy Morrison, fought him. I know people laugh about Tommy Morrison.
Hey, Stu, I think your mic fucked up, man. Stu,
massive.
I think there's something wrong with your sound. Yeah, it changed volume. Maybe you want to drop out and come back in.
You're Wi-Fi, man. You're Wi-Fi.
You're Wi-Fi, man. Yeah, I thought it was only me, but then I was like, oh, wait a minute. What the hell's wrong? Now, somebody in the chat, Jay, keeps asking who's who who are the panelists. So I'm Mr. BD. No, I'm Mr. BDA. I'm Bucho. Holy shit, I'm all confused. I'm Bucho. Okay, wait, hold on. We gotta go. Okay, so I'm King Bucho. Go ahead.
And I'm Mr. BDA. So if you see the purple icon moving, that's me. And Bucho's the one with the keyhole there and the crown. So he's the host right now. He's hosting this event.
And then
it's his barbecue.
Yeah, and then we have the Stu, who's the British guy. you can't miss him. I mean,
right.
And then G Boogie is the other guy. G Boogie, introduce yourself.
Screen right now.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, someone was ringing my phone. That's what it was.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead to continue.
Well, I was talking about Lennox Lewis. I mean, I get a lot of stick, but I had him as the the #1 heavyweight of all time. I mean, I get a bit stick for that, but I followed his career from the early days. I mean, like I said, Olympic gold medalist for a start, and he fought everybody, even these up and coming lions that were dangerous guys. He fought the best guys in the division, like the greats like Holyfield and Tyson. You know, I mean, even like Donovan Razor Ruddock, very dangerous guy when he fought him. You know, he just fought them all. Morrison, Grant, Gallotta. Gallotta was a real dangerous guy, man. Look what he did to Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe ducked Lennox Lewis for years. I mean, he threw the WBC belt in the bin, and Tyson must have paid Lewis altogether about $8 million in paying Lennox Lewis to step aside so he could fight Holyfield and other guys, because Lennox Lewis, he didn't want no part of Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, but Lennox Lewis had a draw against Holyfield.
I mean, that was a robbery. This is what I'm saying. This is why I was defending Lennox Lewis, because for me, all right, at times it could be boring. Yeah. And at times, when he come out of shape, you know, when he fought Ratman, he deserved to get knocked out that night. The shape he was in was dreadful. I mean, he was doing shoots for some movie, Ocean's 11 or something like that, instead of being in camp. Then he goes and fights at high altitude, out of shape. I mean, just brainless. But look, when you just go down the resume, it's just dangerous guy after dangerous guy after dangerous guy. I mean, even David Tua. I mean, he schooled David Tua, and David Tua was a knockout.
Lennox Lewis avoided Chris Bird. I remember he avoided Chris Bird by dropping the IBF belt. So
who, Lewis? Lewis would have beat the shit out of Chris Bird. Come on, man. I mean, Lennox Lewis would have destroyed. I mean, and even Gallotta. I mean, Gallotta was what he did to Gallotta, man. One round. I mean, Razor Ruddock as well. Very dangerous guy. Got him out there in 2. Thing about Lennox Lewis, when he's in there with big punches, the thing with a lot of punches, they like giving that out, but they don't like receiving it. So Lennox Lewis, he always stepped up to the punches and took it to him, and that's why he used to get most of them out there. I mean,
did you mention Michael Grant as well, Stu?
Knocked Grant out, knocked Tyson out, you know, knocked Razor Ruddock out, you know, all big punches. Morrison, Shannon Briggs, all big punches. That's what I mean. He could fight any star. And
I wouldn't mention Michael Grant.
That's for me.
That was
but Ali and Joe Lewis are 2nd and 3 before you cry babies get upset.
Michael Grant was the Deontay Wilder of the early 2000s.
He was. But the thing is, it took Lennox Lewis to show us what he was all about, because he was going through everybody else. It was only when he stepped up to Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis knew how to beat these sort of guys, man. Every time he lost, for the first time against McCall, it was premature stoppage for me. That's a world champion. Give him a chance to get up and fucking defend it. All right, he was gone a little bit, but he could have weathered the storm. But no, they just couldn't wait to take that belt off him, because the Americans at the time, I don't care what you say, the Americans hated Lennox Lewis. They used to trash that guy non-stop. And that's why he kept having these dangerous guys put in front of him. They wanted them belts off him. And that's why he accepted all challenges. Fought Bruno. I mean, tell me what you like about Bruno, but that was a big UK fight, and Bruno was not a fan of Bruno myself, but it was a massive fight, and he got the job done. He just fought everybody, you know. And I wish there was a heavyweight like Lennox Lewis around today.
All right.
And let's not forget Vitaly Klitschko in his last fight.
All right.
This is how good Lennox Lewis was, right? In his last fight, out of shape, 2-week training camp, and he goes and beats Vitaly Klitschko. Made his face look like a butcher's knife. Come on, man.
Stu, you're making it sound. Yeah, you're right. You're making it sound like Lennox Lewis is the greatest of all time here.
But, he is, in my eyes. I'm not saying he is in everyone else's. In mine, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just go by who you beat, the resume. You're never ducking a challenge. Every guy beat him. He defended it. Hasim Ratman, he'd have beat Hasim Ratman if he'd got in shape the first fight. I mean, look what happened in the second one. You know.
Yeah, I think Steven Schneider in the chat says Lewis was the greatest Canadian boxer ever. That's a good point.
Well, yeah, I don't care whether he's Canadian or British. Don't matter. I'm still saying he's. But to me,
or Jamaican,
or Jamaican.
I never saw that Canadian flag on his shorts. You know.
Yeah, look, go watch the Olympics. Go watch the Olympics.
Mind you, he's got more nationalities than fucking Jason Bourne, hasn't he? The real Jason Bourne. I mean.
All right, Stu, I want to go to some.
Week, but look, we're talking about boxing here, and for me, #1.
Right. All right, we get the point. You have Lewis as the best heavyweight of all time. That's your opinion. PC George Garfield in the chat a long time ago he said Berlanga called out Benavides today Bucho, I hear. Okay, so Berlanga called out Benavides. Oh, sorry. Before we get to that, I'm all over the place. I want to thank John Gonzalez for his contribution, the super chat. Thank you very much. He says, I told y'all that Mr. BDA and Bucho were the same person. Yeah, don't listen to John Gonzalez. We're different individuals.
Different individuals.
We're not clones or anything. So, but
That's
anyways,
right.
so Berlanga called out David Benavides. That would be a great fight.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jim McDonald, for putting me right. His butcher's blog. I said butcher's knife, but hey ho, he looked like he'd been cut with a butcher's knife. That's for sure. I know that. But yeah, carry on, butcher.
No, but yeah, Berlanga calling out David Benavides. That would be a good
I
fight.
don't think he's ready for him.
The thing is with Benavides, it's like saying it, and this guy's not ready for him. But when's Benavides going to fight someone with Pulse? Come on, man. This
True.
guy. No one seems to get
Yeah.
on to Benavides. Look, everyone says, "Oh, Callum Smith worked the best guy," but Callum Smith, he beat the best guy that was in the division at the time. Groves, that he was, whether you liked it or not, he was. So he was. WBC had him as #1 Ring magazine. So he was the guy. Benavides is a better fighter than Callum Smith for me. But he's not gone and proved it to nobody. Who's he for? Nobody.
That's a great.
He also make weight. It's go ahead, Mr. BD.
Well, I was going to say, agreeing with Stu, that's a great point because I was just talking about that with King Bucho a couple of days ago. I was thinking, we all more or less here on this show, we have certain people that disagree, which is fine. That we give Canelo credit for beating Callum Smith, but the opposite point of view, which they have some valid points too, was who did Callum Smith really beat? George Groves. But then, like Stu said, then you look at Benavides, he hasn't beaten any. I mean, Anthony Durrell and Porky Medina and
The Romanian
Ronald Gabriel.
Yeah.
Gabriel. Yeah. So look, he does have
Anthony
more.
Durrell. Yeah, Anthony Durrell he's a good fighter, but he's not a world class fighter. He got that belt because it was sort of like handed to him on a platter because he had the right promoter. Let's be real. Look, every big fight he was in, it was a life and death thing. He never looked comfortable in there for me. He was never going to hold that belt long. And
Andre Durrell is a great actor.
Andre Durrell.
Andre
Durrell is probably one of the biggest disappointments in boxing for me because I remember watching Durrell in the early days. Because I remember watching Ward and Durrell come up around the same time, and to me, Durrell looked like the guy that would go on further. He just looked the naturally more talented, where Ward was just a lot tougher and a lot more schooled. So, but Durrell, he came to Nottingham. It was a close fight. I had Froch winning because I just don't think you can take the belt off someone when they're prancing around the ring doing nothing. And after that, he just become a moaner and a whinger, and he always tried to find a way out for me. I mean, look at Abraham. I mean, that Oscar performance he put on, and then he's done it before as well a few times. And then what did who was it who sucker punched? Was it Oscar Teggy?
That was the uncle,
yeah.
the uncle of.
The uncle.
Durrell.
I mean, they just. I just don't like the Durrells. And what about his brother? Is it his brother Willie Durrell? I mean, what a character he is. I mean,
But you know what though?
James DeGale showed you where Andre Durrell's level is right now. I mean, let's be real. Durrell was.
But you're bringing up a good point with Durrell, with Andre Durrell. And Andre Durrell, because I read an article back when they came out of the Olympics. He came out of the Olympics. I don't remember if Anthony Durrell, but there were good national level amateurs, and Andre Durrell was good enough to make it to the Olympics, so he was better than just national. But even since they were kids, they were troublemakers, and their uncle, I think it was their uncle, the one that ended up socking Uskatewi, he was the one that tried to keep him in check. So it goes back to what we're talking about here with Benavides, because both Benavides kids are a little bit out of control. And with this Benavides guy, just like Andre Durrell, he's got good hand speed, good power, very good reflexes. But like Bucho said, he has hot and cold performances, doesn't make weight in certain situations. Seems like he doesn't take it seriously and relying on talent. That's not a good indication of somebody that's going to be here long term and who could potentially beat a guy like Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, look, I don't see anyone from 160 to 168, and even most of the 175 guys I've beat him. I think to beat him, you're going to have to. I mean, I know a lot of the Golovkin fans have still got hope that Golovkin beats him, but trust me, he don't. Canelo makes that look. Canelo's going to put a beating on Golovkin if that fight happens. Trust me, because he's going to up the gears. He cannot fight at that pace that he did against Callum Smith because he's not going to win. Because Golovkin, say what you like about Golovkin, he's going to come to win. Where Callum Smith, he came to survive and get his paycheck.
Billy Joe Saunders.
The mentality straight away. So, yeah, I mean, for me, you'd have to go to Beterbiev. I don't know, maybe a guy like Vodzik. Did he retire or something, Vodzik?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's retired. I thought I heard he retired, but even him, that sort of style where a 175 would probably be a problem for him. But, you know, look, when you see what he did to Kovalev, I know Kovalev shot, but Kovalev he could still hang around with a lot of those guys in that division.
Bivol will beat the shit out of Canelo.
Yeah, I know you say about Bivol though, but Bivol, I'm not too convinced on Bivol. I keep hearing about Bivol, but he's never really set the world alight for me. He's quite basic. I mean, what he does is good. Don't get me wrong, and he's quite a nice little fighter to watch, but he's quite easy to hit. And he's never really getting these guys out of there. It's always a fucking struggle, isn't it? 12 rounds all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he's not as strong as Beterbiev in punching power, but he keeps you honest. He will keep you honest from using his boxing abilities. That's all he needs to do to defeat Canelo, in my perspective of it. If Bivol uses his boxing style and keeps him out of range, you don't have to pepper him all the time. He'll win by decision easily by outboxing him.
Yeah, Triple J. What does Bivol do that's special then? If he's not basic. I mean, I know you seem to think that you're the encyclopedia of boxing. I mean, I want to know what this guy does that's special. Because every time I've watched him, I've just been, well, is what it is. He's never really got me off my seat. I've never really thought this guy. I think Beterbiev crushes him. I mean, look, this guy. I'm convinced that he should go down to 168 before someone does get hold of him. You know, because it's a matter of time before he gets
is this fight that would even sell? Like, is this actually something?
He just doesn't do anything special. This is what I'm saying. What are these guys? These guys that come on here and just hype Bivol up like he's some. What does this guy do that's so special? Trust me, Canelo knocks that guy out.
I don't know.
He has some nice wins.
He's
got some decent wins. So Joe Smith, Jean Pascal. But I agree with Stu, like the Chilemba fight as well. It's all UD, tippy-tap, boring stuff, ain't it? So, yeah.
Yeah, but
that's what you need, though. But that's what you need to beat.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say that's what you need to beat Canelo. Because look, when Stu says basic, that he's not saying he's not a special fighter. He's just saying that what basic means is he's doing. Look, this guy's doing everything by the book, but he's doing it at a high level. And in my opinion, that's exactly why so many people are picking him to beat Canelo, because that's the type of style you need to beat him. You don't need a guy that's going to be taking unnecessary risks. You need a guy that's going to be making him come forward, not giving those counter punching opportunities, and to stick quick punches in his face.
Yeah, Bivol definitely has a style to beat him. But like I said, I think he could walk onto one though. You know what I mean? It's quite easy to hit Bivol. But look, I think you said it perfectly. When I mean it's basic, I'm not saying he's a basic fighter. I'm saying the things he's done, the things he's doing is nothing I've not seen before. It's just you see it in the thousands of fighters. He's just, he does it at the top of the game. That's the difference. Where, you know, I mean, there's just nothing special that stands out with this guy. At least with Beterbiev, you can see what he's doing. He breaks people down, doesn't he? He chops and chops away and chops away and then just knocks the tree down. And that's what you can see. But Bivol's not even doing that. He's looking pretty on the eye, but it's not. It's hard to explain. It really is. But this guy just doesn't set the world alight for me, and it's a matter of time before someone catches up to him.
I agree that he has a basic skill, but that's the necessary skill that he needs to keep it, because Canelo's style is more now a plotter. He walks into you, slowly but surely get into you, and then till he gets into his range to throw combos at you, and then he utilizes that at mid-range. But he learned, I think, from the Golovkin fight, he don't need to dance around no more and expend energy anymore to keep his power rate upwards and the stamina upwards for a longevity of the rounds. So in my perspective, that I look at it from Bivol, long as he keeps Canelo honest, like every one, one shot, just throw one shot out of the 4 combination that you throw to keep him honest, to back him, to be able to let him know, yo, I still got power. You know what I mean? Just one shot per round.
Respect.
And to let him know that he got power, he'll keep Canelo honest, and that'll keep Canelo with, if Bivol continue that structure as in being basic and being a boxer style, he could win a decision. That's the only way. From Bivol, Better BF side, Better BF is 38 years old. He's getting older. He's strong. He can punch, but he's also susceptible to getting hit too. And on 2 of his fights, he got chin checked, and it was later on because he gassed out.
I totally agree. I mean, look, Bivol should be fighting at 168 for me. I mean, 175. I just think he's giving away too much size to some of these guys, and like I said, it's a matter of time before someone catches him. But the thing with Canelo, I mean, if Bivol fought Canelo, Bivol looks quick when he's fighting these big guys, but that speed is just it's taken out of the equation when he's fighting Canelo, because Canelo's fighting a lot faster guys than him, and then they can't even hit him. So Bivol is going to struggle to connect all night, and he's going to get countered with monster punches. All right, likelihood is it goes the distance, but Canelo's going to be doing the work that looks the best on better on the eye. He's going to be making the crowd go wild with his big shots. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to get the knock.
If I would give a honest opinion about Bivol, I think he'd be able to outpoint Canelo, because if it was a prime Kovalev that fought before Andre Ward won and was to fight Canelo, that Kovalev would have beat the shit out of Canelo. And
that Kovalev would have beat the shit out of Bivol as well. That Kovalev was probably one of the great light heavyweights we've had for the last 20 years. I mean, look, when he was in his prime, I remember when he came over. I remember when he came over to fight Cleverly. And Cleverly was a tough guy, never been stopped. You know, a champion and stuff. All right, I didn't really like Cleverly. I didn't. But he's still a world champion, unbeaten, and Kovalev just went through him like a doorway. I mean, he just... You could see how dangerous.
This is why I'm comparing it by. See, like Kovalev, he uses 1-2, 1-2, jab, jab. Bivol has the same ability as Kovalev, but the only thing is Bivol didn't have the power like Kovalev.
That's what I'm saying.
With that style, Kovalev, that's why I'm saying with if he was to fight Canelo right now, and I'm just predicting on what I'm saying, but emphasizing on how to beat Canelo from that style. You know what I mean? And everybody could agree or disagree, but you got to agree that style, if you put that Kovalev from before and then morphosizes him into Bivol, which he does.
That Kovalev is never coming back, so there's no point talking about it. Let's talk about
but I'm saying the styles of them. It seems the same. Their style of
Bivol don't fight like Kovalev. Bivol don't fight like Kovalev.
Yeah, he don't got the power as Kovalev. Like when he throws a 1-2, but Bivol
doesn't fight like Kovalev at all.
He could jab. I saw him throw a double jab, a triple jab. I saw him come in and out. Didn't even get hit. You know. The times that he did get hit is because I think he got bored in the fight, to tell you the truth.
All right, hold on. Okay, interesting point there. But Tony Boswell, thank you for your contribution. Much respect, BDA and the panel. Smash the like button and show support for the great conversation. That's a good point, Tony. Everybody hit the like button, please, if you like the show. Go ahead and do so. Thank you, Tony. And guys, let's take a phone call before we continue this conversation. 860, you're on the air. 860. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. What's on your mind?
Hello, caller.
Oh, he dropped. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyways, continue, G Boogie. So, what are you saying that Bivol gets bored in the ring?
Well, I saw on one of his fights. I forgot which fight he was. He was like boxing the shit out of this guy, and then he just gets like not bored, but like too relaxed, and until he get popped. And that's why I think that's what Stu, sees sometimes, that he gets hit, but it's because of not I say is more being too relaxed when he's in the ring that he gets. But when he sees that he has a dangerous fighter, he stays on his P's and Q's, and he moves. His footwork moves. He got that forward, as he's throwing his jab, he's stepping in with his jab. He's also retreating. At the same time, he knows how to catch and shoot. I saw him through a catch and shoot one time, but he don't got the power to match it. You know what I mean? If he did have a strength. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just to say, Bivol's got a better all-round game than Kova. Even Kova, I'll go back to Kova. He had a better all-round game. He's nice on the eye to watch. He knows what he's doing in there. Definitely, I'm not saying that he's a good fighter, but there's just something missing with this guy. I mean, there's just nothing he does amazingly, sort of thing. It's, his punch. I don't think he hits very hard for a start. He gets hit too much as well.
He's pretty standard. He's pretty standard, basically. He just comes in and it's the same thing.
He's one of them guys. When I watch him, I thought, just an average performance, sort of thing. I've never really felt wow when I've watched this guy. But we need to see him in there with a real top guy to see where he is. But all round skills, he's probably got more than Kovalev, because he's better on his feet than Kovalev, that's for sure. And he's in and out. He's got more. He's got more in his arsenal. He's got more weapons, but he just doesn't hit hard. The weapons Kovalev brings the house down. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem.
Also, the Canelo Bivol fight it depends on who's going to actually buy it. Do you know what I mean? As a pay-per-view, how many people are going to watch Canelo Bivol? I know Bivol. What is he? He's from somewhere in the back end of Russia somewhere. I don't know, Kyrgyzstan or somewhere like that. So who's going to watch that fight? Do you know?
He's Russian. I think he has a Russian flag there.
Oh, yeah, is he? Might be a Russian or Uzbek. He looks like an Uzbek or a Kazakh. But
I'm posting a picture. He has a Russian flag. So but anyways, you're right. Even if he's Russian, even if he's Russian, does he have a large following? That's what Pigeon is asking.
I
don't think
I don't know.
No Russian.
For his country, I believe he does have a big following.
Okay.
Because most of his fights, like when it's near his area, like they support him. They support him same way like they support Beterbiev.
Yeah. Look.
All right. Well, maybe that's a fight that they can make. You know what I'd like to see? Canelo go to Russia.
Yeah, man, that would be excellent. Imagine that.
Shit ain't gonna happen.
That's true.
Look,
that would be
that's,
cool.
That's like
a lot of money.
That's like Andre Ward going somewhere else. That ain't never happened.
It needs to happen though, because boxing's not just about America anymore. It's about the whole planet, So it does need to happen. It will happen. It just depends on if the money's right.
Yeah, it's all about the money.
Look, hey, to be fair, right, when you say about Canelo Bivol, right, I think that is a good fight for Canelo. The thing is, though, Canelo, even if he wins that, these guys will still find a way to discredit Canelo. But Bivol, he had a weight limit, he had to hit, he was drained. Oh yeah, he was pulling his punches. He looked shocked when he hurt Canelo. These are the excuses that's going to come out. I just hear it now, man. And the thing,
but this is the whole thing, though. This is the whole thing.
I want you guys, because a lot of you guys cry about Bivol. You've been doing it for years now, right? So all you guys that cry about Bivol. This is the thing
that I think.
Hey, hold on.
That I think that denigrates Canelo is because he puts the weight stipulations, he puts all these other things, and then it's the last moment he don't give them.
You're supposed to ignore that. You're supposed to ignore that. You're not supposed to pay attention to that.
No, I have to. If I'm being truthful and honest to everybody, I have to do that because, I'm not
said no.
disrespecting Canelo. Canelo attributes and abilities. But you have to put that up front, and if he doesn't give that personification as, you know, not giving, I had to wait, I'm giving him 4-week camp while you already knew, you already had, you know, whatever camp you had and before the signing, you know, that's giving a false bravado of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's actually his fault, not nobody else's. That's his fault.
He's trying to control the narrative in a sense. The story of Canelo is all about Canelo, and I don't hate him for it. But
that's how boxing works, Pigeon. What do you want it to be about you? I mean, look. At the end of the day, when you're in there, when you're in there taking the shots, mate. Of course, it's all about you. You're the only one in there that can fucking change things in there. So, of course, it's about you at the end of the day. I like fights to be arrogant. I like fights to be narcissistic. I like that. I like watching a fight. Yeah,
me as well.
Confident. I do. Do you want to hear a guy? Do you want to hear what Amir Khan did in the press conference against Crawford?
Fuck
when he
Amir Khan.
Could barely open his mouth.
Fuck him, bro.
I'd rather hear Mike Tyson say, "I want to eat your fucking children."
You want to see confident guys?
Yeah.
Look, Canelo. Something you like about Canelo, best fighter in the world. I don't care, but these guys can cry what you like. You can cry as much as you want. It's not going to change anything. And look, Bivol.
I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to cry about it. I don't agree.
No, you won't. You won't. But there's a lot of people that do. When they say, "Oh, Canelo nut hugger, I'm a Canelo fanboy." Look, I just like watching him fight. I don't understand a word the guy says, so it's not about his personality. I'm not homosexual, so I don't like looking at him like that. I like the way he fights.
I like the way he fights.
He's good. He's in the top 5 for me, pound for pound at the moment. He's probably number 1, isn't he? To be honest, let's be straight. Gonna have to put him.
I think who's done?
You know, who's done better?
I recognize. Go ahead.
I think he's a very good fighter. I just don't think he needs these little stipulations in the contract. I don't think he needs to do that. Maybe he doesn't feel that confident without doing it. But he's a great fighter. There's no doubt about it.
I think it's like all sportsmen, right? And all sportsmen, sports like this, if they can get a little advantage, they'll take it. I mean, you just
right, but then I'm not going to consider you the greatest fighter I've seen. I'm going to always keep that in the back of my mind. Same thing with Floyd Mayweather when he started doing the drug testing. I started to realize what that was all about. Changed my opinion on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like football, isn't it? English football. I mean, there was just certain grounds like Liverpool back in the day where you couldn't even get a penalty. You know, the odds were against you. You know, it's just when you're at the top of your game, you can get these little things go your way.
I've been to FA Cup games with team I support, Birmingham, and we've been 2-1 down, and they're like, we've got a blatant penalty, and they don't give it. Anything about sport is all about.
And back then, Anfield. You know. I mean, no one had even got a penalty in front of the Kop.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a coincidence. And look at Man United. I mean, Manchester United. They always had Fergie time, didn't they? Man United would always be losing, and the Fergie time would come. They'd get about 7-8 minutes to get an equaliser, and they usually did.
All right, Chelsea fanboy. All right, Chelsea fanboy. Let's bring it. Chelsea fanboy. Let's bring it.
Oh no!
Listen, mate. I've been supporting Chelsea all my life. No fanboy here, mate.
All right. You know, plastic. What do you call them? Plastic fans or whatever.
Plastic fans.
Anyways, yeah, that's a good point. Like, that's the thing with Canelo. It's like you're not gonna get anything. You're not gonna get a decision. The referee's not gonna be on your side. He turned into what he hated, which was Mayweather. He always complained about. Yeah,
that's what gets
he turned to the dark side of the force.
When I saw him fight Mayweather, I thought that was a horrible sight.
It was. He was useless that night.
And instead of being different, he said, "I'm gonna do the same thing." That's why I don't respect Canelo. I do not. Sorry. Because it happens.
Yeah, look. Sometimes when you get beat, it goes two ways. When you get beat, it goes two ways. As an up and coming fighter that's got a lot of hype, who's got zero, and then he gets beat, badly, it goes two ways. He either learns from it, becomes a better fighter, or his confidence gets shot to pieces, and he's never the same guy.
He was so drained in that fight. He was so drained.
He did. But the thing is, he still from that defeat though. He learned from it, and he got better and better. And it's probably the best thing that happened to him. It really was. I mean, I know it's hard to say that now. It's probably the best thing that happened to him because he's gone on from that. And you see a lot of some of the things he does. He's got a bit of Floyd in him himself, isn't he? Defensively, he's picked that up.
100%.
And he's definitely picked.
He learned after the GGG fight as well. He's adopted some of Golovkin's style when he's chasing guys down. He's very clever. That guy Canelo, very, very clever.
That's an interesting point. Gonzalo, let's get Gonzalo in here as well. Gonzalo, welcome to the show. What do you think about what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. Can you hear me? Because I'm using another device.
Yeah, you sound okay.
Sí, amigo, nosotros te puedo oír.
Yeah, just
Canelo.
Yeah, you know what? Canelo looked really good in his last fight. But, also, Smith, look, I'm not talking about Ryder, but against other opponents, he looked like he was the goods. Now, when Canelo fought GGG, they looked more equal. And even GG got the better on the first time, and the second time was close. So that depends who you're fighting. And I'm still interested to see Canelo against another tough guy, like equal to like GGG, if you can find one out there.
No.
Maybe like a Charlo at 68. Somebody give him a tough fight.
All right, now you're going to get a lot of heat for saying that Charlo might be a little bit similar to Golovkin in terms of strength and skills. What do you guys think? That's a good point. Is there another
I think
Golovkin?
that is a good point.
Is there another Golovkin type? So you think Charlo might be a substitute?
Now, listen, Charlo is not. I don't think he's as good as Golovkin,
No.
but he's strong now. And again, I've been saying this. I've noticed since Canelo's been fighting over 160, he's a lot stronger than his opponents. The key is when he fights somebody who's as strong as him. Because I think you got box. You can score points on him. Is what I'm on Canelo.
That's a great point. Recognize.
But so far he hasn't fought nobody. It's north of the 160 division. From what I've seen, it's not that he's beating these guys with great skills. Although he has great skills. Don't get me wrong. He's a lot stronger than them. They can't hurt him, and he can hurt them, and that changes the game a lot. As soon as he meets somebody like Beterbiev, maybe even a Bivol, Benavidez, that those guys, you can't hurt them that easy, and they can also hurt you right back if you do. That's going to be the key right there, and I think you'll see that a lot of these guys will have a lot of success against Canelo.
Con permiso, Mr. Recognize, esto es Canelo. Te voy a decir una cosa. El Golovkin tira como un bujo. Tiene la potencia de un bujo. Cuando te da esa patada, ay bendito. Pero
cuando, ¿qué pasa cuando un burro viene para atrás?
Todo el mundo no me puedes ganar. Yo soy campeón.
Hey, that's a good point. Recognizing because Jibuk is saying,
what happens?
He hits.
What happens with the bull? Hey, what happens when you fight another bull and that bull hits you back? You know.
I felt like I was listening to an El Chapo business meeting.
Yeah, I know.
The reason why Golovkin gave him a good fight, the reason why Golovkin gave him problems in both of the fights, is because Canelo realized, this guy's just as strong as me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was
in the first fight, he might have been a little stronger than Canelo.
Yeah, the thing with Golovkin these days, because he's he's old and he's so slow at the moment. It's going to be a problem with Charlo, because Charlo's just got to throw punches and bunches, and nothing's coming. He's not really a counter puncher anymore, Golovkin. He just doesn't. He just covers up and waits for the.
Stu. In my opinion, if Golovkin was to hit Charlo, because look what Charlo did in his last fight, he got caught with when he fought Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko caught him with a I believe it was an uppercut or a straight right, and Charlo, it looked like it affected him, and he backed up. Then that's when he regained. He backed up, and then he started boxing, and then he came back in.
But you could also say that Derevyanchenko hurt Golovkin with a body shot.
He did.
Right.
He did.
Yeah.
Body shot hurt him. No
Yeah.
doubt about that. I saw him like he flinched. I've never
Mate,
seen
that
him.
hurt him. That hurt him. Trust me.
Dude, he was still
you know
in there.
something, Stu? I've never seen him faced by a punch in all his fights. Think about it.
Yeah.
His two fights with Canelo, the one that hurt him with the body shot, the one that got to hurt him. Period.
He curled over, didn't he? He sort of curled over when he took it, so you know that
hurt him.
He wasn't expecting
it.
it.
Off guard. Do you think it caught him?
I just think it's a work rate. I think to beat Golovkin, it's got to be work rate. I mean, you're not going to knock him out. Charlo's not going to knock Golovkin out. I just don't see that happening.
No,
he'd have to be a smart fight, but he'd have to throw a lot of punches. He'd have to throw a lot of punches in, but he'd have to be prepared to take a few shots himself, because I know Golovkin's slow, but he's still going to land, isn't he? And you know, at the end of the day, it's what happens when he does land. That's the big question with Charlo. I'd still pick Golovkin right now, because Golovkin, I think he's still good enough just to cause problems for Charlo. But let's see. I mean, he's aging every fight.
It's a 50-50 fight, though.
Stu, I think you're giving too much credit to Golovkin, I believe. You know,
I think that's a good fight.
Why do you think he's never stepped up, though, Golovkin, from middleweight? When he got the silver in the Olympics, what I want to know, that was nearly 20 years ago. We all become fat as we get older. This guy has stayed at the same weight for nearly 20 years. I think
Golovkin is a natural 160. He's not built for higher weight.
He doesn't even have his frame is small.
Look,
you look at his frame.
I mean, to be fair, if I had my way, I'd like to have seen Golovkin go up and fight other guys at 168. Even I get it. He's not big enough.
That's what I want to see.
He's not big enough for 175, but he's still bigger than Canelo. If you get what I'm saying.
All right, so Stu, you would have liked to see him fight Andre Ward.
World champion. If he would have started his career at 54, 60, and he could still go up to 68. This reality. He could have been, but he chose not to. So it's not really a big deal.
I think if he would have went to 168,
I'm not sticking up for Golovkin. I think what happened was opportunity started to present itself. Like, okay, he went in there probably saying, let me see if I can win a belt at 160. He wins a belt at 160. Then he's making all these title defenses, and next thing you know, he's about to break records. And then next thing you know, he's got a big fight with Canelo, right? Now,
that's a good point.
In the third fight, he might have to go up to 168. And
so in a way, Golovkin was kind of successful in his life because he made it. He became a rich man. So, I mean, who else is making that GGG money aside from a very few?
Yeah,
that's true. He managed to get a nice contract.
What I'm hearing is what a lot of people probably have heard it themselves, where the Billy Joe Saunders and Andrade fight's gathering a lot of steam. Now, I thought Golovkin might have. I thought if he'd have gone up and gone after Andrade, he could have got that fight. I think he would have knocked Andrade out, and he could have got that belt, but he just didn't bother for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate Andrade. I think he's the biggest fucking. He's just fucking ruining everything, isn't he, Andrade? He's just an arsehole. Let's be straight. Absolute. I'm sorry for swearing, but come on, that guy. I'm going to mute myself because even the mention of Andrade's name.
What about Billy Joe Saunders, though? Is he
Billy Joe Saunders is just as bad as him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This guy struggling against Argentinian people like round 11 who are part-time boxers in the back end of Hertfordshire somewhere. Stu's back garden's probably bigger than where Billy Joe fought in his last fight. I ain't got no time for him either, to be honest.
That Argentinian guy, Coceres, he was pretty good, man. He had only got like one draw in a fight where he got dropped, got back up. It was a 4-rounder. And still earned a draw within 4 rounds. It's kind of hard to do.
But
so I mean, what the thing with Billy Joe is that it's 68. I think he's just a little too chubby. That's not his best. 60 is better for him.
Look, it's some fighters are just not made to go up divisions and stuff. They're just not built. They're fighting to be at their fighting prime. They have to be a certain weight. And I just think Billy Joe, because he's a boxer and he uses his feet and his hand speed. The extra weight going up to 168 slowed him down a little bit. He looks like he's hitting harder. He looks like he's hitting harder, but he's easier to hit as well, and he just looks slower on his feet. It's like Deontay Wilder when he put 20 pounds of muscle on against Fury. I said to you guys before that fight, that's going to hinder him.
You never liked that.
He's going to be knocking Fury out now. He's got 20 pounds extra. Look, Deontay Wilder's not built to carry an extra 20 pounds of muscle on the legs. He was at his optimum prime about 2'9", probably 2'11", something like that. But he was like 230. I mean, come on, man.
So I noticed you never liked.
A lot of boxers, a lot of boxers, right? They get caught up to when they start going at the divisions, and they start slowing down that little yard. That's why Roy Jones got caught up to eventually. No one knew Roy Jones had a bad chin because no one was hitting it. He was that quick, but as soon as he started going at the division, started to slow down half a yard because you do. Well, you know the rest.
That's one reason, Stu. I think that's why Golovkin don't want to go up, even though he could have gone up, but he might diminish his accuracy and his speed on his jabs, his power jabs. It happens as you go up.
I always thought that he could have went up to like 165. I'm talking about his younger days. Golovkin. I always felt that he could have like fought at 168, fight somebody there, come in at 165, don't gain no more than what he does when he rehydrates for a middleweight fight, and still beat a top super middleweight who will come in there much bigger than him. But I think now that will hurt him. Like, I think a guy who's much bigger than him or a significant bigger than Golovkin, because he's slower and he gets hit more, I think that will work against him. In his younger days, when he was knocking everybody out, he would have. I think he would have done it. But go ahead, Stu.
Certain styles you can put on the pounds and still fight a certain way, and still put on good performances and still look your best. But it's just certain styles of boxing with boxers. They need to be at a certain way. I've always said that, and then you see them start to slide massively as they go up, because their way of fighting is all about speed and footwork. And when you start piling on pounds of muscle, because you're not going to put on fab, are you? I mean, it'd be suicide. You're going to put on muscle, and that just slows you down. There's a reason Anthony Joshua's getting smaller and smaller every time he fights, sort of thing, because he can't fight like he did against Ruiz in the first fight, carrying all that muscle and stuff.
And he actually looks better. He actually looks better.
Of course he does.
That's why
he said. Who you guys got in the Fury fight against AJ if it does happen this year?
Well, that's going to be a topic for another day for us. Because,
that's another day.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because right now we need to see that fight signed before we talk about it. Because them guys, that's not, for me, that's not even close to be signed. I still think Joshua's going to take one more, and I think Fury's going to take one more. I don't know what Deontay Wilder's holding everyone up for. Even when he was the champ, he was holding the belt hostage. Even when he's not the champ, he's holding it hostage.
What he is salty, Stu, right now.
He's a narcissist, man. All about him.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing on Golovkin. 2 fights ago, he came in 1 pound over. Now, as an older man, his back is looking a lot wider. I think that if he takes the Canelo fight, it'll be like around 164.
Maybe 168.
No. Canelo's gonna tell him straight up, 168. Yeah. It's gonna be up to Golovkin. If Golovkin was smart, I mean, this is not rocket science. Okay. If he was smart, all he would do is say, okay, look, full 168. I'll come in. Maybe I'll make the weigh-in at 165, and I'll weigh whatever he's weighing right now in the ring when he fights guys. What, 175, some shit like that.
No, he's not 135. He never went over 171.
Yeah, that's true.
If I was him, I would go in 175 in the ring against Canelo the night of.
Oh, that'll put it too slow, bro.
Yeah, I think so. I think Golovkin. I mean, Golovkin's gonna have to fight that fight at 168. Canelo is not going to shrink himself down to 160 again. I just don't see Canelo fighting at 160 again.
Still, Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's trainer, he already said that.
He looks strong. I think that's a good.
Stu, everybody. Eddie Reynoso already stated that Canelo is not moving down to 160 to fight anybody. He says if they want to fight Canelo, they have to come up to 168. So that includes Golovkin, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
And Golovkin knows
it might actually help Golovkin a little bit. All right, it's going to slow him down, but it's going to give him more in the attack. Because for me, Golovkin's biggest hindrance recently has been his tank. he's blowing it. You never see the best of
even
Golovkin,
when he was even when he was beating up the Cesmareta, I noticed him winding a little bit. I did notice it.
Yeah.
That's why I said Golovkin normally when he fights at 160 and he comes in to weigh in, he normally comes in at like 159 3/4 or something like that, 160. And then when he rehydrates, he don't go over 170. Maybe I think in one of his fights he was 171 against Lemieux. I'm not sure, but he normally ranges. That's why I said he's not a big. He don't carry the weight well. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think what it is, I've always said this. It's that Big Bear training camp. There's only so much a human body can take that punishment. And I've always found with Golovkin, he leaves so much in camp. You only get like 60-70% of the best of him. I mean, I just don't understand why he didn't change from Abel Sanchez a long time ago. Yes, Abel Sanchez did a good job with him, but he was going stale. There was nothing. He was not to change anything. The performances were going backwards for me, and his tank was starting to empty. I think he was just leaving far too much in Big Bear. I mean, Tyson Fury lasted 2 days there. So I mean, that's how hard it is. Anyone that goes at high altitude,
I used to strain.
Anyone that goes at high altitude, trust me, it's hard. Even walking down the road is a struggle. And far too much of his tanks.
I used to train when I was in the army.
Wasting so many. One second.
I can help.
1 second, man.
I couldn't.
Go ahead, Stu. Finish your point.
Lost my train of thought now. I was just about to finish, man.
It's confusing people on StreamYard and Discord.
About the high altitude. Something about the high altitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, how high altitude. It's very hard to fight. It's very hard to fight. It's very hard to even walk at high altitude. And the problem with Golovkin, he wasted so many camps, pointless fights. And that's my last point. Where when you're aging, you can't be wasting camps on the Steve Rolls of this world. This Polish. Who was that guy you fought the other day? Couldn't tell you who he was.
Symmetra or whatever.
Cerameta, something like that. Anyways, Djibouti, go ahead.
Round 7, wasn't it? Or 8 or 9, he knocked him out. That was a crap fight, to be fair. Let's be honest.
Complete crap. Djibouti, go ahead.
Yeah.
Djibouti,
what I was saying was that, when I was high elevation training in Colorado, I used to be up at 14,000 feet high elevation over there training, and I was in my mid-30s, and that was my best shape that I was in, because when you come down from the high elevation normally and you're running up there, you don't lose. Yes, you have to acclimate yourself. It takes a month for your acclimation to high elevation, because you will be winded. Doesn't matter if you don't smoke or you do smoke. When you go into high elevation, yes, it takes acclimation for a month. And then after that month, once you start getting acclimated and you start training at the high elevation, and you come down to oxygen level, like a lower playing field, like sea level, your oxygen will increase, because you're used to the high elevation asphyxiation.
That was the problem with the Lewis fight against Rackman, when I think Stu mentioned it earlier. He was off filming Ocean's 10 or Ocean's 100 or whatever 11, it was.
He
came to that.
That's what it does.
Exactly.
I was Pigeon. Mattis in the chat's got a good point, because he said you forget that Triple G comes from the mountains. He's acclimatized to it. Do you know what I mean? And look, I get that, but I'm acclimatized to the conditions I'm in right now. But if I'm draining myself in camp 6 months a year, it's going to take its toll on my body eventually. And to do it at Big Bear, no matter whether you're from the mountains or not, it's just a lot harder. Yes, it makes you fit for a while, but it gets you to your peak for a while, but then you start to slow down.
Seems like it breaks you down.
The body can only take so much punishment, and that's, for me, training at Big Bear. I mean, you saw it with Carson Jones. The punishment he took against Kell Brook. He thought, how's this guy still on his feet? That was Big Bear training. but the big bear training starts to catch up on you eventually.
Yeah, so from what I understand, what you're trying to say, Stu, is he was basically overworked while he was at that elevation, and he should have had. That's up to the trainer and him and whoever is his nutritionist and stuff, how to get him in a peak form before he overextends himself and then come into the fight looking like shit.
Because the amount of oxygen in your blood at that altitude, it's like Bolivia. The miners in Bolivia that they sort of go to get lithium for the phones that we use. And they get out of breath because it's high altitude. It's the same with Big Bear. Such a high altitude, all your white blood cells are getting oxygenated less, so the body's working more. So you sort of, in a way, you've got less oxygen, but it's more better for your body.
So you're right. It helps you when you get back to normal altitude. It does. But the thing is, when you get to 40 years old and you've been in wars and you've been in training camp after training camp, I don't give a fuck what the conditions are. You are going to be a fading fighter. And I'll tell you what, mate. There's a reason why there's not many fighters fighting in Big Bear at the moment. You've got to conserve energy. But say we like about Canelo. I criticised him the other day for not showing everything he had. I think he could have got Callum Smith out of there. I just thought he's just doing enough. But he's conserving energy, this guy. I mean, he doesn't waste anything. Go and watch him. He just doesn't waste anything. And
it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. It is beautiful to watch. His feet, his movement.
You've got to be like that. It doesn't matter where you train. So Golovkin is, like I said, the way Golovkin fights is all about work rate, throwing big punches, loading up on shots, and that's all about having a tank. But for me,
hi, Gonzalo, go ahead.
He's just aging, and that Big Bear is just killing him.
He has to. Canelo has to fight like that. He has no choice because his stamina is not that good. If he fights any other way, if he gets all crazy, he has to stay like that. My frustration with the whole Golovkin situation, I know that you guys are talking about how he was training high altitude, but Golovkin's never looked like garbage. He's never looked like shit inside the ring. Never. He's always looked competitive. He's dropped everybody aside from Canelo. He put their asses on the canvas. That fight with Devyachenko was close. I mean, he don't get the credit. He never will. So I'm tired of trying to convince people otherwise. Because who am I? I'm just another squirrel in the fucking man's world. In other words, man.
Yeah, but my problem with Golovkin, like I said, I'm going to keep it real. I've defended him tonight with it, saying that that's why you've not seen the best of Golovkin in a lot of these fights recently. The camp's been taken.
And I've just discovered something online. I've just done a Google search. And Almaty, now I never knew this till a second ago, is at very high altitude. So Golovkin, I've only just found this out. You know, he's obviously grown up in a high altitude environment.
All right, Pigeon, your mic is really, really powerful. So, like, you overpower everybody. Stu wasn't finished.
Yeah, you got to let Pigeon. Why is Pigeon on the panel anyway?
Yeah, I don't know. I put it. I said he's Pigeon on the panel.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to get it to go a bit lower. Sorry.
You got to fucking. You can't just butt in on conversations, man. You can't. You've been on this show twice before.
I know.
He's packing Berlanga power.
Yeah,
he's packing Berlanga power in that mic.
No, it's my mic. My mic's too loud. It's my mic. It's my mic.
All right.
It's not me.
Hey, Pigeon, is that Michael Jackson on your avatar?
Unfortunately, yeah, it is in. Yeah.
What a nut job. All right, Stu, finish your point. Let's be respectful. Stu, go ahead.
Yes, man. You can't just look. You newcomers, you got to learn your place, mate. You're white belts.
You learn your place.
You're white belts around here, man. You're fucking white belts. You have to earn your way to sensei. There's no Daniel LaRusso with you guys.
I'm going to mute myself.
Fucking mute yourself, yeah, mate. I'll be giving you the crane right in the fucking chin. Get out of here, man.
Cobra Kai.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm joking, by the way. But yeah, man, just let people finish, Pigeon. You can't just start. I'm sitting there talking, and Pigeon starts shouting out some fucking stats he's just reading out.
Let me finish, Pigeon.
But everybody in that region like in Russia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, those areas, Kyrgyzstan, the Caucasus Mountains, all those areas is mountain terrain. And every one of the, I think the lowest plains over there is about 7,000 feet.
Jimmy,
You know what, G-Boogie? I didn't realize that Kazakhstan is the third largest region, geography wise in the world, man. I'm not talking population. That's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucho, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah,
It's
you're
crazy.
right. Russia, China, and then I guess Kazakhstan.
It's one of the biggest
up there.
countries in the world.
Yeah, it's sparsely populated, of course.
I
But
think
yeah.
Russia isn't Russia the biggest country in the
Yeah,
world?
it's
Isn't
Russia, China. I thought it was the US that was in there, though.
Continent, yeah.
Anyways, Jimmy, we're talking about high altitude training, and Stu saying that this is what has affected Triple G later on in his career right now because he's almost 40. So what do you think?
No excuses. No excuses.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, it's all I can do is it's my theory, but I totally agree. I've been saying all along too. If you study about the effects and what the pluses are, and then then you realize how. I mean, again, if he came down off the mountain and they fought that night, yes, it would. I mean, you're doing it because in essence it does is it makes your red blood cells in essence bigger, and therefore you're able to carry more oxygen, right? But the thing is, some doctors say it's gone within 3 days. Most doctors agree. I mean, rather it's gone within 3 days. Some doctors say within 24 hours. So you're not fighting until 10 days, sometimes 2 weeks after you come down off the mountain. So why are you putting your body through that? And I'm talking nosebleeds, all kinds of, you get sleep apnea and all kinds of other problems. So I don't know. I just think you should get the fuck down off it and train at sea level.
Hey, Jimmy. Well, when I used to be in Colorado and I came down, one exercise I had to go down and from Colorado, and we was there for 6 days, and then I took a PT test. I normally run in high elevation at the time. I was running my 2 miles in like 11 minutes, but when I came down to oxygen level in my 6th day, I took the PT test. I had actually increased my running time to 9 minute 25-second 2 miles.
Oh, that's crazy. Were you on Port Carson?
Nice.
Yeah,
did you come down from that happened the same day? Did you say you came down from the mountain the same day?
6 days later, after I came into town at a lower elevation, which it was Fort Eustis, Texas, and then I did what I had to do, and then I had to take a PT test before I go because it was my rotation to take my PT test. So they put me in it, and I wound up running a 9.25 2 miles.
Now, is this the military?
Yeah,
you're in at the time. Okay, well, so this was right now.
And I was 32 years of age.
From what's that?
I was 32 years of age.
32. Were you training regularly, anyways?
Yeah, you have to. Mandatory the way our unit used to be.
Yeah, exactly. So mandatory. Okay, so maybe that could have a factor in it that you just progressively getting faster, and if you were training. But I mean, like I said, it does.
No, this was in a 6 day, bro. I normally run in Colorado. I normally ran at high elevation, 11 minutes, 2 miles a day. When I came down and I went to the Texas, and in 6 days I had to take a PT test. I wound up improving my time at 9 minutes, 9 minutes and 25
seconds. Opposed to running up opposed to you doing 11 up in Colorado and 9 minutes down there. Yeah, exactly, because it's easy to breathe.
You won't be able to sustain those times because the body will shut down eventually. Like there's only so much you can.
Your benefits that you get from high elevation, it will diminish later on, but with us, we didn't have to like when I was doing my exercise, and I don't mean the exercise like physical exercise, because when I knew I was getting a PT test, I don't have to do any exercise. I'm Gonzalo can back me on this. You don't have to take exercise or program or anything, and then just go ahead and take your PT test.
Yeah. The thing is, you was a man in your prime, a young guy, getting fitter and fitter. Golovkin is a man on the slide, looking worse every time he's in the ring. And
I was 32 at the time.
When you get to a certain age, when you see it with a lot of fighters, they start to change their style so they can conserve energy. You know, they can't fight like they used to fight. They have to change it up. And maybe Golovkin might have to start going back to the drawing board if he wants to continue to fight. Because right now, even though he looked good against that guy the other day, but that guy was nobody. You know, they say a lot of people around here thought Derevchenko beat him. You know what I mean? So he's on the slide, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I do agree with you. He's older. He's more mature. He's slowing down. Everybody slows down. It's a natural thing.
Derevchenko looked good. He looked good. He looked like Mildred Taylor versus Chavez. I mean, he landed the more flashy conversations, but GGG landed the more thudding shots. And he was the worst for wear by the time that fight was over and got dropped in the process. I actually had Derevchenko winning by 1 point, but that's just my opinion. But if you just look at the damage they sustained, man, Derevchenko got beat up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He got beat up against Charlo as well. It's just a complete non-entity, really.
Yeah. But Butcho, do you want to read that poll out? Who we had the best in that poll? But was it Tank, Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Teofimo?
Yeah, I think. Let me find it. Let's see.
Start with fourth place. Go for it.
So, who is the best out of them all? And we had 732 votes. So, who's the best out of them all? Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney, number 4. Ryan Garcia, 8. Tank Davis, 3rd with 12%. And then Teofimo Lopez, number 1 with 73%. I guess that makes sense. I mean, obviously, he beat Lomachenko. So, there's no doubt.
I was more interested in seeing where 2 to 4. I mean, I think I knew Teofimo would get that. I just wonder where everyone had 2, 3, and 4. It was second against Tank.
Yep. I think it makes sense. I mean, I think people are basing it on experience. Wait a minute. Who has more experience in big fights? Teofimo Lopez or Tank Davis?
Teofimo.
Probably Tank.
Had the big fights.
Who has Tank?
Teofimo.
I think Teofimo, the way he dealt with Lomachenko, sort of thing.
I say Teofimo because he beat 3 of the top 10 in his division.
Yeah. Gervonta is a little bit older. At the time, before they were at where they are now, Gervonta was sparring Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo was like a little kid, like 15. He didn't drop him, but he was bigger.
No, he was 14.
He was older. He was older. So he's been around longer, and he's like 2 years older now. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think when you look at Teofimo's style, he reminds me a bit like Gerald McClellan, you know, the way he fights. Very explosive puncher, very technical, very sound, very Gerald McClellan-like. A very dangerous guy. He's the sort of guy that's going to break you down. The way he dealt with Lomachenko convinces me that there's not really a style out there that's going to fluster this. I mean, I think the only guy, even Lomachenko, though, the rematch, I still see that as a 50-50 fight. I don't think Teofimo is going to get it as easy as he had it the first time. I think Lomachenko, obviously with an injury he had, and the way he started the fight, he just can't do that in the second fight. I think it'll be a better fight. So he's got, if he took that, it's still. But anyone else, I just don't see him beating the guy at the moment.
How do you think he will do at 140?
Lomachenko or himself.
The Japanese guy troubled him a lot. I actually thought he won when I saw it live, based off the jab and what that Japanese guy did against the Cuban or the Puerto Rican kid, the Puerto Rican,
Puerto Rican.
Man, fucking beat his ass up, dude. He's good. That Chinese guy, Japanese guy.
But Verdejo was winning the fight at first. At first he was. And then he just got he started getting tagged up.
I thought Verdejo punched himself out when he had him hurt.
That's true. Yeah. That's true, bro.
Guys, we have a phone call.
It goes to show you that Verdejo has talent, right? Like that guy.
Yeah, no. If I was the Video, I wouldn't quit. He still can come. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like he's taken some. But if you look at his losses before, remember when he was on the rise and everybody had him in the top prospect category. The losses he took then are a different kind of loss now. You know what I mean? Like the loss he took the other night was something you learned from. Like you blew your load. When you had somebody hurt, you can't just, you know what I mean? You can't just blow your load like that and bring nothing into the later rounds.
I always
just couldn't survive the pressure. You couldn't keep that kid off him. Japanese dudes, they're just tough individuals.
Yeah, they're crazy.
The Japs, mate. The Japs. If you haven't got the stomach for it, the Japs will find you out quickly. Trust me. They're not going to fall over.
Nakatani can fight. He's also got a huge amateur career as well. So, you know.
Hey guys, let's take a phone call. 585. You're on the air. 585.
Oh, buddy.
Wait a minute.
You know what this is.
How are you doing, Mr. Bucho? This is Vince.
What's up, Vince? What's on your mind?
Yes, I recently seen your video, or should I say BDA, with the pound for pound list from Mr. Champside. I must say, we do agree on number one, Earl the Truth Jr. And also, I disagree 2 through 10, but it's very similar. So I kind of respect Mr. Champside's pound for pound list.
Are you a troll, bro?
Also,
Are you some sort of troll?
Mr. Abucho, I cannot believe you guys are still talking a triple L. He's very irrelevant right now. He should be fighting maybe Mr. Andrade to give him a good boxing lesson, to send him to retirement.
Who wants to take on Vinny? Who wants to take on Vinny?
Hey, Vinny.
We gotta go. Bye.
Vinny.
Vinny.
Hey, Vinny.
Yes.
Do you still have Deontay Wilder? Vinny, I want to ask you a question. Do you still have Deontay Wilder in your pound for pound list?
Mr. Stu, yes, I do, due to the fact Mr. Tyson Fury defeated in the second fight, and he does owe Wilder a trilogy. Also, guys, Ryan Garcia, very impressive win, but he is barking up the wrong tree, guys. Gervonta Davis is an animal, and he definitely does not want to see Mr. Tank Davis. And I'm sure you guys agree with me on that.
Vinny, who you got, Tank or Teofimo?
Yes, Mr. Stu. I told you guys from day one, Teofimo is definitely an exceptional fighter, but Tank Davis is a very special, guys. I told you guys this 2 years ago, and you guys were laughing at me. But I told you guys, Mayweather, he knows boxing, guys, and I'm telling you guys, Tank Davis is a little Mike
It's nice
Tyson.
talking to you, buddy. Bye.
No, you're right. Tank, listen, nobody wipes the floor with fucking no hopers like Tank Davis.
Good point. All right, Vinny.
Mr. LSD, when Ryan decides to have the I cannot curse, so I'll say balls, to fight Mr. Gervonta Davis, I'm telling you guys now, if Luke Campbell can knock down Mr. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis pretty much puts him to bed, guys. And Oscar
that's the surprise that everybody thinks Tank Davis hits that much harder than Campbell. I don't buy that. Listen, Tank Davis is a little dude. He might hit harder in certain, like an uppercut, Stu, but an overall, like a punch that caught Garcia has to be fully extended. He's going to be too short to throw it. And, he won't be caught with that same kind of punch. It'd have to be a looping shot. But I mean, it's more that I respect. He's explosive. He's got explosive speed. He's an exciting fighter. He comes to fight. But listen, man, I give credit to people of what they've accomplished, and what they've done. And as far as I'm concerned, Garcia has stepped up his game more than Tank Davis, and he's been champion for 3 years.
I think you forget about Leo Santa Cruz.
Look,
Vinny.
Luke Campbell against 118 pounders, and look to see if Luke Campbell doesn't knock those guys out impressively too. 18,
He didn't
22
even
pounders.
exactly.
point.
He didn't even that fucking time he threw the uppercut. It was so you put it in slow motion. He just sit there, bloop bloop, like the perfect music
Man,
that dude tweeted out to.
Can we
It was
all
so
agree that
ridiculous.
Leo
thing is,
Santa
though, Jimmy,
Cruz
it's just-
touched up Tank Davis before he got
Yeah.
knocked out?
Absolutely, we agree on
The thing
that.
is, Jimmy, the thing is, right, he just showed
Yes, guys.
vulnerability. He just showed vulnerabilities in there, Garcia, for me. I mean, it's still a work in progress. I just think Tank's are just a little bit further ahead when it comes to where they are in their careers. I just think might be just a bit too much for him if Garcia.
Oh, I agree. In fact, I don't think you should be calling him out right now.
Yeah.
I
Hold
think
on.
you should be.
Yeah,
I think he's all wrong.
Guys,
I
guys,
still
hold on,
think
Stu. Can I
Haney's
just
a good
say
fight
I
for
need
him.
to ask
I think
something
him
to
and
Vinny
Haney are
before he leaves.
quite
I
close.
want to just ask
Me
Vinny
too.
something. Vinny, what you quickly your thoughts on you losing Color of the Year? Because I know you won it in 2019, but you lost it in 2020. Your thoughts?
Damn it.
Yes, Mr. Bucho, I was definitely listening to the show. I was very disappointed. I do see by the count I have a lot of fans. I need to win a little bit more. Actually, haven't called in about 2 months, 3 months, and I still got that much votes. It shows I have a huge fan base, and this is going to continue to grow. Hopefully,
Sorry, Vinny.
2021,
I ain't one of them.
Vinny Mac comes back.
Hey,
You guys like to call me Vinny Mac, but Vince
talk about
will win
clutching at
Caller
straws.
of the Year. Mark my words, Mr. Abucho.
All right, thank you for calling.
Vinny, you're the Charles Martin of the BDA, right? You got given a title, handed on a plate to you, and then threw it away in the next fight. Got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah,
That's the way I see it. Couldn't defend your title. Never looked like defending it. It was a poor showing last season, and you're clutching at straws. You're
Yes,
clutching at straws.
Mr. Stuart Little, I compare myself to Mr.
Andy
Gervonta
Ruiz
Davis.
Jr.
Very explosive. Has all the talent in the world.
Compare you
but
to
the best
Deontay
ever
Wilder
is
getting
holding me down.
all right, Vinny. Thanks for calling. Good luck.
Hey,
next
dude,
year.
I compare
This
you
year.
as Andy Ruiz
Thank you.
Jr.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Bucho. Now, if you let Gervonta Davis get on the inside and you give him a free shot, yes, he's gonna knock your head off.
Yeah.
Because that's what basically Leo Santa Cruz did. He threw three punches at a time with the same hand, and fucking Gervonta Davis just punched in between his punches. If you give Gervonta Davis a free shot on the inside, yes, he's gonna clip your head off.
Because it was nothing on those punches. He had nothing to worry about. When you're standing flat, and less than flat, he was actually. If you rewatch it, Davis was almost kind of leaning back into the ropes. It was these pawing right hands, like just to keep him off. The type of shit he's been always able to do his whole career, being usually the bigger guy. And Tank was just like bop bop. He was barely putting his hands up, letting him deflect off the side of his head. There was nothing on those punches. So he sat there. You could see him timing him, like he kind of dropped his left to, and then he waited to the next punch, and then he caught him. It was just, I mean, it was there what it was supposed to for. They made that fight because that's exactly what he's supposed to do.
Jimmy, there's a
You know what I mean?
crackling
I want to
sound.
see him in there against somebody
You
who's
have
not
like
supposed to be.
there's some sound background noises. You have like crackling sound. I don't know if you earphones or something.
Okay, I'll take care of that.
All right, no problem.
He's a tough dude. Also, I mean, Gervonta Davis is like a little cannonball. He looks like he's wearing a helmet. He's fucking tough. He got that route. You know those little characters on fucking Mario Brothers and Nintendo that got no feet, little soldiers with helmets. They're walking around in the dungeons. Yeah, he looks like one of those.
It's true though. He's tough though. He looks like.
I think you got to give Garcia credit because, he could have took some easy guys, made a few quid, but he's going after Tank, Haley, those sort of guys.
Yep.
You got to give the guy credit, man.
That's true.
It's quite a rare thing in boxing when you see a young guy who's not really fought anyone get one decent win and then start calling out the big boys. Good to see, man.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. You look at Tank Davis, goes to lightweight, fights Gamboa, and then Devin Haney fights Gamboa. Like Gamboa is that's like that step little test.
When he came to the UK to fight Liam Walsh, didn't he? I mean, come on, man.
Who?
I think he fought Liam Walsh in the UK. That's what I'm saying. Tank did.
Don't even remember that. Well, yeah, that's.
He beat the brakes off him, but He's still coming for him. I mean, it was a terrible
Another,
fight. It really was.
good point. Oh, guys, we have another phone call. Let's take it right now. 214. You're on the air. 214.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up? What's on your mind?
I wanted to just agree with Jimmy because he said that people were saying that if Gervonta had hit Ryan with that shot, that it would have knocked out Ryan. But they don't understand that Luke is a completely different fighter, has different length, and the punch was fully extended, and that won't be able. Gervonta is a short guy, like you guys mentioned. It would be impossible for him to do that same punch. But on the inside,
listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, bro. At the end of the day, when Gervonta's at mid-range and in the pocket, those short, explosive shots, they could cause even more damage. There was not a lot behind that Campbell shot. Yes, it was an extended arm, but he just caught him on the button. You let anyone hit you clean on the button with your hands down, it's going to drop you. But just because he can't fight like Luke Campbell doesn't mean he can't get the knockout.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he can't do the same.
Well, if he throws it from the outside, he's going to reach. So it's not going to get there with the same power. If he throws it from the mid-range or the inside, yeah, he can land. If he lands, he lands. But from the outside, he will never get the same leverage, and he'll end up reaching where it's not going to make full contact with the same follow-through as a. Because, I mean, freaking this guy, Campbell, he's long. Maybe Ryan Garcia thought he was well away from that shot, but he's got long arms. He touched him. He caught him where he thought he was away from him.
That's what happens when you fight little guys all the time. That's Ryan Garcia, usually fighting smaller guys. Now he fought somebody that was almost his height, and he might miscalculated the distance. Maybe he thought he was out of range. Yeah. Caller, go ahead, caller.
Oh, yeah, and I think Ryan's going to fight Jorge Linares next because, until they get full capacity of fans, that Gervonta fight isn't going to happen.
Good point. Good point. Anything else?
No, nothing right now. I'll call back because I'm waiting for that Oscar Valdez Berchelt fight.
Oh, that's a good fight. All right, call back again later if we get onto that topic. Call back again after. All right, thanks for calling.
All right.
All right, let's unpack what he said. So he mentioned, Linares. What do you guys think about that fight? Ryan Garcia Linares, another tough fight.
I think it's a great fight. I think it's going to be a good fight for Garcia.
Yeah, I think.
You know how he struggled against that Pablo Cesar Cano? Well, he actually got starched. Cano got him out of there like in one round.
He looked big though.
Garcia, yeah, he might be getting in this next couple of years, like maybe a year from now. I don't know. He's gonna get that much stronger. He didn't look really, really strong against Campbell, but he will be there. Where the other guy's just getting that much older, and I think Garcia beats him even now. It's a good fight though.
Stops him?
I mean, size makes a difference, man. Like Gervonta, he knocked out Fonseca in one round. Garcia got him out of there in 7. Campbell went the distance with Lomachenko. I know they're all in the same weight class, but look, Garcia, he was able to get rid of those two guys easier than Gervonta and Lomachenko did, those opponents. Mm-hmm. He got them early. He got him out of there earlier.
Stopped Campbell. Only one to ever stop Campbell.
So size makes a difference. I know Garcia is a 35-pounder, but he's tall, long, and lanky, and he's got power in both hands. He's not necessarily stronger, but he will be there. I mean, size makes a difference.
Yeah, good point. And somebody in the chat badge.
Put it this way, I think he'd be the kind of champion if he was able to correct the angles, correct going backwards in a straight line, and I'm just saying this hypothetically, if he went on to dominate 135. He'd be the kind of guy he would get probably beat up at 140 because once he lost because of his style of just that almost he's got to kind of change. That's why Linares would be good for him.
He's got a problem, but it's kind of a good problem. You see, like Pacquiao, he developed his right hand. He's a left-hander like later on in life in his career. But look, Garcia, his lead hand. Compared to like Pacquiao, his lead hand, it's already developed. He got that power. His trail hand, which is really like his power hand that everybody has, he also got power, but it's not that he hasn't developed it. He just doesn't use it. So he's got to really learn how to incorporate his two-handed um, fighting style against fighters that they're gonna make him do that. That are gonna make him use both hands. Because right now he's just using that lead hand and clipping fighters. It's like opening your tablet. You use one finger to swipe left or right, and you open up your fucking tablet. That easy. That he's better at that than anybody else. With the lead hand, he can swipe you and clip your face and knock you down. It's an easy punch to throw for anybody. It's your lead hand. It's extended. It's like a foot away from your opponent's face. If you hold your guard high with that hand like the old timers, where it's like really, really forward, and it just takes a little bit to pump out that jab. So it's a really easy punch to throw. It doesn't mean that anybody can throw it as easily as Garcia, because Garcia got the length and the speed that he can get off his faster than other guys can. But it's just like opening your tablet. You swipe left or right and your fucking tablet's open. Now, one day, maybe you're going to have to go to the settings and put in the combination to open up your tablet, and it's going to require more for you to do that. So you got to develop your game to where you're incorporating your two hands, right, to fight, not just really easily. I'm just going to swipe my arm like a bitch slap and hit motherfuckers and knock them out with that lead hand. It's very easy to do that.
Great analogy.
I mean, that one swipe is better than anybody else's. But it's really easy to throw a lead hand hook. You just got to turn it just a little bit.
How far can it get you?
It's a very hard punch to pick up. It's an easy punch to... I always tell people, develop your jab, because you can develop so much off that. Like that check left hook is so easy to disguise behind a jab. Like jab, and then as you try to get he's coming in, say, especially with a southpaw, you can slip it even a little and just turn what he did. Like even with the body shot, he started off as a jab, and he turned it to a body shot. He just turned it over. It's an easy shot to disguise. Is my point basically.
Yep. And Jimmy, you were saying that you believe that Ryan Garcia is working on other aspects of his game, and defense wasn't on the cards for the last fight. Right?
I think this past fight, I think there was so many glaring, fundamental problems with Garcia, what he was doing, and you can see he has corrected some of them. If I was Reynoso, I think he did the right thing with there's only so much in an 8 to 12 week camp you can make second nature, because again, that's the thing. You can't. It's not like, okay, we'll work 2 days on fucking pads and then this. It's everything's just repetitive. That's the whole idea behind a camp. You want everything to become second nature, and if you're trying to fix too many things at once, it's just what I mean. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's impossible anyways.
And lose things.
Absolutely. So he's on the right track, in your opinion.
With the right people, I just can't picture them wasting their time with somebody if they didn't think he was molded.
I was going to say that. You mentioned that last time. The Reynoso aren't going to deal with a kid that doesn't listen. And at this point, why would they? They're with Canelo. They're making so much money.
Exactly. Well, put it this way. In the middle of the fight, dude, in the middle of the match, remember he actually turned and looked over to him? He had him hurt in the 4th round. He came out in the 5th. It was getting sloppy. He was over-anxious. And you could, because there's not as many fans there, you could hear one of the Reynosos yell. I think there was a son. And you see him, Garcia turn over and look, and then even nodded like, okay. So they were telling the fact that, you know what I mean? That to me shows it's a good sign that he's listening. And he did slow it right down after that.
I didn't like the fact that the father has to translate what Eddie Reynoso is saying. And by the way, I believe that he wasn't even translating properly. I don't know, Gonzalo, did you notice that?
Yeah, because he don't speak Spanish either, the father.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
I was curious about that. I asked PDA. I think I asked you too, what's going to happen in there, because I didn't see that on the Fonseca and the Duno, because it only went one round.
Yeah.
I never saw the instructions in the corner. Now that I saw it, the communication is not necessarily the best.
And you don't have time, 1 minute, and you're rushing and doing. Yeah. You don't have time to tell the guy to translate and then telling somebody to get the bucket at the same time, and I don't know. It feels like you can't get a lot of information through.
Then you got to play like
a boxer. He's got enough time on his hands. Learn to speak Spanish. It's your fucking mother's tongue. You know what I mean? It's your origin. You know what I mean?
American.
What the fuck? You've been around it your whole life. Learn it, for Christ's sakes. You're an intelligent fucking kid. You get enough. Like I said, boxers got a lot of downtime. Learn to speak Spanish so you can fucking talk better with them.
Then I also noticed, he should learn how to speak a little, at least understand it. But you know what I also noticed that he's playing like charades. He's being really like descriptive, like showing them with his hands and the
Ah,
corner. And what
yeah.
if the other corner's picking like the guy that carries the bucket is picking on that is picking up on that and he's telling, look, this is what they're gonna do. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm going a little too far, but he's
Well,
showing them and the other guys are watching.
yeah. What
Well,
if
you can have it. They're not. You're not supposed to have earpieces now. Like, you know how if you have an earpiece for a phone, your little fucking earplug. Like, people in the corners aren't supposed to have those. I don't know if certain states enforce it, but you're not supposed to, because you could be listening to a television feed. You know how you have people in the corner. You could be listening to the advice during the television. So I know they got rid of those. They wouldn't let guys in New Jersey wear headphones anymore.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but makes sense. Elias in the chat says need to see more of Haney Garcia fight, looking unlikely. Maybe Fortuna. It's hilarious how the champ has to force people to fight him though. You talking about Haney? Who's the champion? Yeah, Haney. Yeah, he's the champion. We're not gonna get into who's the WBC champion. I mean, yeah, I've come to the conclusion that Haney's the WBC champion, and because actually he is, if you go to the WBC website, so that franchise belt doesn't count, unfortunately.
Of course, it doesn't have a fucking lineage. How can it? Without a lineage, it doesn't. You know what I mean? But
Right.
belts could have a lineage to mean anything.
Yeah, but usually the WBC belts have got faces of fighters that have won it before. But who can you put on that belt? I mean, it's like I said, I've had my cold longer than fucking that belt's been around. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got no history. It's a pointless belt. Devin Haney and Eddie Hearn are hanging on to it to get a big payday.
Yeah, because like now people are talking about, well, Teofimo, if he wants to unify, he needs to fight Devin Haney. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't he just unify by fighting Lomachenko? So this is a never-ending thing.
See, Eddie Hearn's got to sell that. So he's using that franchise belt to do it. I mean, we all saw the interview. Well, it was an interview when he was talking to Teofimo outside the locker room. You know, they were talking about this belt, and Eddie Hearn was sort of like discrediting Teofimo by using this belt, and this belt is just meaningless. I think Eddie was just hanging on to it, sort of
taking a piss, to borrow an English term,
to pick up a good fee for Devin Haney, because I think I thought I heard him say he offered Teofimo $8 million to fight Haney. I'm not sure. That's what Eddie said.
$8 million. Oh yeah, well,
Teofimo is going to be asking for big money, but the way Teofimo is going, he's going to outprice himself. You know, at the end of the day, he's got a big win against Lomachenko, and yeah, he's an up and coming star, but he's still not a massive pay-per-view draw right now. I mean,
well, Ryan Garcia believes that
he's demanding fees that he's going to struggle to get, if you ask me.
Ryan Garcia said that he believes that the Tank Davis fight, so Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis fight, is as big as Joshua versus Tyson Fury.
that goes to show. That goes to show how hard Campbell punches. Still got that fucking kid goofy if he's saying shit like that.
He's crazy, man. Well, I think because he's gauging it based on the social media, what do you call it? Like the numbers, the reactions. And so because they're both very popular in social media, I think he believes that he's like this big superstar.
But King Bucho,
yeah,
isn't Tank Davis the opposite of a social media superstar? Because only social media he gets is because of the advertisements he gives to the judicial system by getting getting in spats with his women.
Bad publicity is good publicity. I mean, it doesn't matter, man. He's in,
And Garcia's running his mouth like that because think of us, the age of social media. If you just say something normal, it's not going to get picked up. But because he said something so ridiculous, everybody's talking about it. It's almost sad that you have to say stupid, outlandish things for it to get picked up, for it to get legs.
That's the world we live in.
If you're gonna go about your business like Ryan Garcia's going right now, You're gonna have to keep winning,
Hmm.
and that's just how it is. And that's why sometimes you got to keep a level headed when you haven't really achieved much. Let's be real. This guy's not won a belt. He's not even a world champion, right? So we have to calm down about. He had one good win against Luke Campbell, who's always fell short in the big fights. Let's be real. In the big fights, he's always come short. So it was a good win. Credit to that. Credit for that. He knocked Campbell out. It was that body shot would have dropped most people. But it's calm down.
Hell yeah, that body
guy,
shot reminded me of Roy Jones Jr.
He's calling out Tank Davis before he's even built the foundations. If you get what I'm saying, you need to be very careful what you wish for. There's a saying.
All right, there's this guy called Boss. Who is this?
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Who is this?
What's up, boss?
This is the boss.
The boss? You sound familiar.
Yes, I got a question regarding Ryan Garcia. You guys are talking like Ryan Garcia beat a bum or something. Ryan Garcia just beat a top 5 lightweight, and I think Ryan Garcia deserves to be mentioned within the top lightweights. If you get what I mean, like Ryan Garcia has done things that Devin Haney,
most of us have, brother. I think most of us giving him a ton of credit.
Haven't done.
Go to our poll. He's in our poll. Who do you think the best? We've put 4 down. Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, but I hear a lot of like negative things you guys are saying about Ryan Garcia when Ryan Garcia has proven himself, and it's just a reminder that Ryan Garcia is a star. He is a pay-per-view draw, and he is here to stay.
We're not denying that. I think he's on the right path. I think we've all said that.
But my point is, if he goes in there with Tank Davis and gets sparked out cold, then what?
Yes, but it's not about taking losses. It's how you recover from a loss. That's what the sport of boxing is all about. And Ryan Garcia proved that in his fight, he got dropped.
Casuals don't look at it like that. A lot of these guys, they like Garcia because he's a pretty boy. He's got a lot of girls following him, but girls don't follow losers for long. Now,
I'm a grown man, and I'm a fan of Ryan Garcia, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I know what I'm talking about. Trust me, if he gets knocked the fuck out, how can he how can he even show his face for a bit?
And
anyway?
I'm tired of people saying that Ryan Garcia has no skills. When Ryan Garcia has shown he has skills, he has power, he has hand speed, he has defense.
All right, listen, Jefe. Nobody's saying he's a bum or anything. So listen, if you can't take criticism, then you're a fanboy because we haven't even said he's that bad. We said he's improving.
Be a fanboy of his, right?
Jimmy said he's
improving. I'm not a fanboy, guys. I'm just
sound like
trying
a fanboy
to break
because you're getting
keep
pissed off.
Keep walking your boy onto a big shot.
Hold on, let me
putting
talk.
him in there with the tanks and stuff, and watch what happens. And then what? You can't. You've got to build the foundations around this kid.
That's like hating, bro. That's like saying, oh, well, as soon as he steps up, he's gonna lose. Well, he just stepped up and he didn't lose, so. What point are you trying to make?
Tank Davis is a different kettle of fish to Luke Campbell.
And by the way,
according to what? Beating Gamboa at 135? Tank hasn't done nothing at 135.
All right.
It doesn't matter. I've got eyes. They work. Trust me. Tank Davis is a lot harder fight than Luke Campbell.
Nobody said
Luke Campbell was throwing single shots, lunging in out of range. Never. All right, he dropped Garcia, but he never landed that shot again all night. It just got easy to read. It was just an average performance. Tank Davis is a lot more explosive, and the way Ryan
Garcia he adjusted to the fight. So you're not breaking that down. Also, how Ryan Garcia adjusted to Luke Campbell, bro.
All right,
Kevin, but you're not supposed to be a fan of Ryan Garcia. He's not a cholo. He's not a gang member. Kind of like Vargas and De La Hoya. Remember back in the day? Some of the guys go for the pretty boy, and some for like the bald dude. You should be rooting for Virgil Ortiz or fucking Teofimo Lopez. Fucking Ryan Garcia.
Bro, what are you talking about, bro? I'm a fan of boxing.
That's a great point.
All right, let me just say this now. Okay, listen, Jefe, I know that's you. Nobody's talking shit about Ryan Garcia. I mean, we're saying he has some flaws in his game, but we're saying he's going in the right direction. Nobody said that it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to lose to Tank Davis or Devin Haney. We're saying they're tough fights. Some people are saying, well, we would like to see him against Linares before that. That's all we're saying. So for you to come here and start saying that we're talking shit about Ryan Garcia, now, you sound like a fucking fanboy, man.
When you fight,
bro, it's because the chat is real negative. I hear like negative vibes.
No, that's what you want to hear because you're a fanboy.
Yeah, well,
I'm not a
if you
fanboy,
think
bro.
we
Come
really
on,
give a
Stop
shit
acting like
about
a fanboy.
your energy, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're just saying what we see. The guy, look, whether you want to sugarcoat it or not, go back and watch it. The guy was on the canvas with his arm folded underneath him, which tells me he was badly hurt. Now, when you see a fighter get hurt like that, it's time to take a step back, put him in there with someone on a similar level to Luke Campbell, and let him get a bit of confidence. All right, he got the win, but if Tank lands that shot, he ain't getting back up. That's the problem. You can't leave yourself wide open like he did against Campbell. I mean, look, he's gonna have to. He's still a young kid. Why walk him into his own demise so you can get fucking stiffy about it?
Anyways, Hefe, I'm gonna let you say one thing, and then we're gonna move on.
Yeah, let me just say my final point, bro, and I'm about to dip. I agree with constructive criticism and key words, constructive criticism. If you guys know what that means, I agree with all that, bro. But we also got to talk about the positives that Ryan Garcia does to the sport, bro. Ryan Garcia, not only does he bring boxing fans, bro, he brings casual fans, and that's what the sport of boxing needs. Ryan Garcia is basically too. Oscar 2.0, bro, and we need that in the sport. We need somebody like Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? So he could elevate the sport. Why don't we talk about that instead of just talking about the negatives of Ryan Garcia? Yeah, I'm tired of the disrespect Ryan Garcia gets, bro.
All right, good point. Good point.
Listen, we're talking about hang on a sec. We're talking about who's the best right now. So we have to point out Ryan Garcia's faults. If you've listened to the show, I've praised him many a times now on how composed he was when he got up. He realised he made a big mistake and he learnt from it. And Campbell never landed that shot all night. Again, I thought he was very composed, and I thought he's very nice on the eye when he's throwing punches. So yeah, there's good things to see with Garcia, and I see a bright future ahead for him. But sometimes you have to slow down a little bit. He got dropped heavily. I mean, when a fight gets dropped like that, it's time to take a step back, say, right, stick him in with the Linares. Let him see how he goes there before we stick him in with the other guys. That's what I'd say.
You know, Bucho, that's the point, though, now with this whole thing, because, I mean, he brings in all the demographics. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. He brings in the girls, the homosexuals, everything. And the fact that he showed improvements is fantastic in the Campbell fight, but he also showed glaring weaknesses that he has yet to fix. So if you want to be a fanboy and just look at the good, you're never going to be a good or positive thing for the fighter, because you're just going to say, oh, yeah, you the man. You know, like, you ever see those fighters, they got hangers on all around them. You the man, baby. You the man. Keep doing that thing. Yeah, exactly. They never improve. And they never improve. You need somebody to tell you the cold, hard truth, which is, hey, listen, you're doing this badly. This ain't working out for you. Maybe you should work a little harder. And if he kicks you out the gym for telling you the truth, then he doesn't really deserve you in there as a trainer or as an assistant trainer, whatever it might be.
All right. We're going to take, that's a good point. We're going to take a phone call. 226. Go ahead.
Yeah. What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
Oh, this is Slugger. What's up, man?
Hey, sorry, I always want to make sure I get the names right. It's Bucho, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I apologize for getting your name wrong the last time. Look, I just want to say, Al Jefe, you little fanboy. I'm sick and tired of you always coming on here butchering up this show with your little Ryan Garcia, love. Who's Ryan Garcia?
Oh, here we go.
Huh? Who's Ryan Garcia? Who's Ryan Garcia?
The future of the sport.
The future of boxing? Wasn't Paulie Malignaggi supposed to be the future? Where the fuck is he now?
Oh, wow. I don't know if we should. I mean, listen. To be fair,
doing real estate, I heard.
Yeah, I think he's doing good. No,
but anyways, who are these guys coming in here talking about the future of boxing? Let me say it best, like Roger Mayweather said it. You ain't no shit about boxing, boy.
Yeah, good point. Listen, it's too early to tell. Listen, he's coming out of a good win. That we have to admit, right, Slugger Sam?
Look,
he's coming off a good win. Yeah.
Okay, listen, he's coming. Okay, let me just tell you guys something that I guess I don't know what it is that I see that other people don't see. Okay, And I'm gonna be honest, maybe I don't know boxing as good as Bucho or Stu or actually, sorry, I take that back. I didn't mean Stu. Fuck him. I meant Jimmy and recognizing whatever. But look, man, when I look at the lightweight division,
Just admit it. You meant me.
hold on. First of all, fuck El Jefe. Okay, just hear me out for a sec. I don't know what it is, people that look at the lightweight division that I'm not seeing, but I really don't think Haney is all that. Like, Haney is not like what Mayweather. He's not like how Mayweather was when Mayweather was 22. Let's just be honest here. So how is this guy supposed to be the next Mayweather? He's not in the same league, man. So I don't really put Haney up there.
I've not heard anyone compare him to Mayweather, to be fair. Nobody. Not one person.
Stu, just hear me out for a sec. Hear me out. I only need a minute. That's all I need. I don't need 2
Go ahead. 1 minute.
Go ahead.
So Haney,
go ahead.
I don't think Haney is all that. I'm just being honest here. He barely did any work to fucking 40-year-old Gamboa, right? And I don't think Ryan is all that. And again, we've said it a million times. Tank has never fought really anybody. But I'm not gonna lie, I think Tank is a tough motherfucker. I think just by his skill and all that, this guy looks like he's coming here to, like Mike Tyson style, right? But I really think the guys at lightweight that are like the top dogs, it's just Tio and Lomachenko. That's really it. You know what I mean? The rest are kind of.
All right, we get the point.
I give them a B. You know what I mean? As fighters, I'd give them a B, maybe a B minus. That's about it.
All right, well, that's your point of view. Thank you for calling.
Damn, I'm actually going to agree with Slugger Sam on that.
Yeah, we have to agree with you there. All right.
Yeah,
who is that?
Slugger made some fair point.
That's OG Boogie, your nemesis.
OG Boogie? Wait a second. I thought I got rid of you, didn't I?
I think he knocked you out.
No, it's going to cost you another $100 for that, I'm afraid.
Hold on, listen, what did I tell the fish and chip eating motherfucker? I thought I told you, don't even address me ever. Stu?
All right, Slugger, go take a break.
Listen, stop trying to be a cornball.
Just give me one more second.
No, stop being a cornball now. Trying to get attention. Coming online with this app.
One more sec.
But you gotta be. All right, you gotta be respectful. I'm kicking you out.
You come on into this fucking fake gangster mafia act. Do you know what I mean? You're a cornball, bro.
Hold on.
Trust me.
Hold on. Let me address you, Bucho. Sorry,
you're a cornball.
Stu, listen. I'm named after a guy that goes around knocking people out. You're named after a little mouse, Stu Little.
Yes, but
Stuart Little.
Do you honestly,
all right.
Do you honestly believe? Are you that
calling.
stupid to believe that my name is Stuart Little? Now, my first name's right, but do you honestly believe my name is Stuart Little? Come on, man.
Stu, he's a troll. He's just trolling everybody, guys. You guys are taking this guy serious.
Stu.
This guy's
hey,
a troll.
Stu, I'm gonna let you know this. First of all, he says fish and chips and all that. I agree with his analysis of what he was saying, and then he's gonna try to say that he knocked me out and all this other stuff. When reality, don't worry about money like that, like he does. Okay, so whether he's consulting the panel in the matter of his forked tongue, don't even pay no mind because he's inept.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, bro, he comes on the show and he's calling in on the show and he's spouting this for all our listeners to hear. So we've got to address him, innit? We're going to just sit in silence and wait for him to finish ranting.
Yeah, that's enough. All right, guys, let's take another phone call. 719, you're on the air. 719.
Yeah, man, these Ryan Garcia fanboys getting on my fucking nerves already.
Oh,
they like Manny Pacquiao fans in the matter of like 3 days, 3 fucking days.
What's your problem with Ryan Garcia?
How the hell does a win of? Huh?
What's your problem with Ryan Garcia?
Who is this brotherhood?
I don't have a problem with Ryan Garcia. It's these fans, the fucking delusional fans around Ryan Garcia. So the only thing changed since Ryan Garcia fought Luke Campbell is like people all of a sudden think he could beat Tank Davis, Lopez, Haney, and anybody else in the top 5. Like, how the fuck does a Luke Campbell win secure something like that? Luke Campbell,
Beats anything Haney's done.
Yeah.
Luke Campbell. Look, so I know I've criticised Campbell's performance, and I've said that Campbell always seems to fall short in the big fights, but Campbell is still a very good win for someone as young as Ryan Garcia coming up. That's not really fought anyone, and then he goes and steps right up to someone like Luke Campbell, which is a big jump, and he got the job done. So you have to give him credit, and he's going to learn from getting dropped. Look,
I'm
learned
giving
from
him
that.
credit, but you shouldn't be placing him number 1 or number 2 at lightweight based off no fucking Luke Campbell win. If that's the case, when Yvonne Mendy beat a undefeated Luke Campbell, where the hell was he ranked?
Yeah, but Luke Campbell had about 10 fights.
Well,
by
hold
then.
on. Nobody has him.
Stu,
What do you? Hold on.
He was going through personal problems as well. Look,
who has
Luke Campbell? Luke Campbell's a good fighter, and he's sort of like the gatekeeper to the top guys for me. And I think Ryan Garcia.
No, he's not even a top guy. No,
if he couldn't get past Campbell, yeah. The thing is, you got to look at it like this: if he couldn't get past Campbell, then he wouldn't have got past Tank or Haney or the other guys.
All right, hold on, Brotherhood.
But Brotherhood keeps saying he's not a top guy. He was number 8th ranked in the world. So he was one of the top 10 guys. My point is this: you can see your opinion can be whatever it is about Garcia, but bring the same heat for Haney.
What the fuck?
All right, hold on, guys. Hold on. All right, let's just clear this up. Okay, Brotherhood, where did you rank Luke Campbell before the Ryan Garcia fight?
At best, I rank him number 11 or number 10 at lightweight, if I'm being nice.
Okay, well, that's the problem here, right? What about you guys on the panel? Where did you rank?
I want to know, because if you're going to make bold statements like that, you better come up with a list. You give me your 10 fighters, 9 fighters that better than Luke Campbell.
Good point.
Easy.
Go ahead then.
Teofimo Lopez. Y'all think Ryan better than Lopez?
No.
Just go do the top 10.
We're talking about Luke Campbell now. You give me 9.
Yes or no?
Hang on. No, I want 9 opponents that you think
Don't
are
explain.
Don't
explain.
Campbell.
Let me get past this list quick. Just yes or no.
Go ahead.
Is he better than Haney?
Who?
Yes.
Luke Campbell.
Luke Campbell.
Oh, no, I thought he
was Luke Campbell better than Haney.
No.
More proven, yes.
Is he better?
Yes.
More proven, but not better.
Is he better than Tank Davis? I'm on 3 right now.
No.
90 seconds.
Linares.
No, because he lost.
So no.
Fortuna.
I'm not sure about that one. I don't know where we are with Fortuna.
Fortuna's fresher. He's fresher.
No, he's fresh.
I'll probably favor Fortuna.
No, he's not. Y'all know
you named 4 or 5 boxers, man. So he's also, so at best he's like number 6, 7.
Yeah,
or something.
But I'll tell you what.
I can keep going.
He was
50 seconds.
And stylistically, it was a hard match for Ryan because it was a lefty with length and height. Stylistically, it was a hard match.
Luke Campbell's hovering around 5 and 6.
He's not better than Comey. He's not better than Lomachenko.
Yeah, he's googling the list. That's why he's asking you. Is this guy better than that guy? He's googling his list. That's why.
Yeah,
he's not better than Comey. He just said he's not better than Comey. He just said Richie Comey is better than Campbell. That's not true at all.
No,
you're damn right he is.
No, he isn't. Absolutely not. He got
that's
fucking roached in the first round.
Oh yeah, look how Campbell. Right. Look what Campbell. Yeah, Campbell's a better fighter than Comey. I mean, Comey got
based on what? Based on what?
Go ahead.
Campbell is better than fucking Gamboa.
You could probably find 5 guys. Probably find 5 guys in that division that are better than Campbell. Like I said, he's a gatekeeper to the top, but he's still a very good win for a young Garcia.
Yeah. Y'all rank Campbell top 5 based on absolutely nothing at all. Y'all just like Campbell.
But
he ain't done shit in boxing. He ain't done shit in boxing that actually puts him in that spot. Comey.
Okay, so what do you
Comey has
base
actually
Haney?
accomplished
Answer that
things.
one
He
question.
got
Will
good
this kid
wins,
ever answer
unlike
one
All right,
question?
everybody.
No, he answers a question by asking another question.
Exactly. He won't answer one question. You'll sit there condemn
Hold
us
on,
saying we're basing something off at least a fight, and then I say, okay, what do you base Haney off of? And then you go, all right, tell me this. No,
God,
answer that
I
question.
gotta ring this
Why
bell
do you
a
base
million
Haney
times.
so good?
All right, hold on.
That's how
everybody.
they do it over at the
Mr.
LDBC,
BDA, can you
man.
hear
That's
me?
just the
Mr.
way they
BDA,
do
can you
it.
hear me?
You're asking
I'm gonna.
too much,
All right,
Jimmy.
hold on.
You're asking too much.
Can you hear me, guys?
He's BLM. He's BLM, Jimmy. He's
okay.
BLM. Get him.
I'm gonna let boys Butcho's trying to speak.
I can hear you, Bucho.
Jesus Christ! I wanna. Jimmy brought up a good question. So, Brotherhood, please answer this question. Where do you rank Devin Haney, and why do you rank him so high? Because I'm pretty sure he's high. Who has he fought? Yeah.
Devin Haney, he's beat Gamboa, who's y'all try to give credit for Luke Campbell. Gamboa is a gold medalist, and that's the only thing y'all can pull up. That's the only thing y'all can pull up when it comes to Luke Campbell. And
hey, you guys hear that? You hear his credibility going out of the room at about 110 miles an hour?
Who was ranked top 5. It was ranked top 5 in the lightweight division at the WBC.
Who was? Gamboa? No, he wasn't. He was 18th.
All right.
He was 18th. Try again.
Yo, you lose this one, Brotherhood. Come on.
Guess what? No, guess what? Abdullayev was ranked higher than Ivan Mendy. So how the fuck Luke Campbell is ranked higher than Devin Haney?
Gamboa.
I don't know, because that's what the world boxing.
Exactly.
About 6-7 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's talking about how far are you going though? How back in time are you going?
That fight was like 6 years ago, man. Luke Campbell had about 10 fights.
I'm not going far at all. This was all 2019. Luke Campbell got his best win in 2019 versus Ivan Mendy. Somebody that already kicked his ass.
Questions. Stop answering questions with asking questions by answering another question.
He refuses to answer. He refuses to answer the simplest question.
Just answer the fucking questions, bro. You come on here, we answer your questions. When we ask you one, you can't do it. You can't even give us the decency.
Ask me right now.
Ask him a question.
Okay, here's my question. Simple as this. You sit there and say, you guys rank this and that against Campbell, or Garcia, and then, and then how are you ranking? And then you did start saying Gamboa, which if you actually, let's be honest, that's absurd. First off, he went all 12 with a dude who goes down so much they could put fucking advertising on the bottoms of his shoes. And that fucking dude didn't even rock him. If that doesn't make you think his power is suspect, I don't know what the fuck he's doing here. 12 rounds with a fucking dumb, and he fucking couldn't even hurt him. Never mind stop him.
Have to do with him actually beating the guy.
I got a question.
It has a lot to do with if he can't fucking rock Gamboa, if he can't rock an uber chinny rock Gamboa, how the fuck is he supposed to keep anybody else off him who has power?
I got a question.
Maybe he can't rock Gamboa, but he can beat him for 12 rounds easily. That's got to count for fucking something.
Yeah, it does count for a little bit, I suppose. But at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia stepped up to the plate. The fight that Devin Haney should have took. They both got the same promoters. That fight could have been made in a heartbeat. Devin Haney was ducking that fight for me. I don't care what anyone says because Luke Campbell wanted the fight.
So Luke Campbell,
he was ducking that fight. Ryan Garcia stepped up. Trust me, he was ducking that fight.
What you say.
Gamboa was handpicked, by the way. There was no mandatory. There was nothing. He was handpicked to make Haney look good.
After that performance on the
I got a question for Brotherhood. What's your can you give me your list of your top 10 guys at 135 from top to bottom?
I just did that, but okay, I'll do it again. I'm not doing it in no order.
35 too much.
Teofimo
just give us your top 20
then. Lomachenko, Haney, Linares, Tank Davis. No way. Now I will put Garcia in the top 10, but Luke Campbell was never there.
So how did he get in there?
Number 6.
How did Ryan? Okay, listen.
Fortuna. Who else am I missing? Comey, Nakatani. I would say somebody like even Beltran is higher than that motherfucker, Luke Campbell.
135.
Come on,
All right, listen.
Come
Just
on,
filling
man.
up a
You know,
list now.
when Brother Hurt first started that list, he goes, "All right, Tiafimo, am I right?" Lomachenko, right?
No, like
He's
was going to say no.
Googling his ass off trying to find 10 lightweights.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen,
no,
Brotherhood,
no,
thanks for
no,
calling.
no,
We gotta
no,
move
no.
on. We gotta move on. Brotherhood, thanks for calling. Take care. All right. Let's take another phone call because the time is up here. I don't know if it's going. 609. You're on the air. 609.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? What's on your mind?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm calling from New Jersey.
Jersey.
What's going on, everybody? Hey,
Not much.
What's going
Debating.
on, bro?
Luke Campbell. Hey, Luke Campbell. I think Luke Campbell can beat Gamboa at this time.
Yes.
If Luke Campbell fights Gamboa, that should be a good fight for next time. I think Luke can beat Gamboa. But
right.
I'm thinking, right, Ryan Garcia, he's the type of fighter that's looking for legacy, but he's gonna have losses on his record. Like Oscar. Oscar, he fought everybody, which, you know, I to this day I see his fights.
Wait a minute. Are you the caller who bet on
losses?
Are you the caller who bet on
Yes.
Are you the caller who bet on Ryan Garcia?
Yes.
Okay, and then you said, I believe that you said that because he got knocked down, you will never bet on Ryan Garcia ever again?
Versus Tank. Just versus Tank.
Oh, just versus Tank. Okay.
When he fights Tank, I'm not going to bet. Because
Smart.
of that. Just because of, Luke Campbell got the knockdown. He got hit by it wasn't even a hard punch. He just got hit on the button, you know? I mean, anybody can go down with a good hit. But I think he should have never got knocked down by Luke Campbell. Anyway, go ahead, man.
No, anything else?
Anything can happen in a fight. We all saw that against Tyson Fury and Wilder. Look what happened. I thought Wilder was going to knock Tyson out. But fucking Fury outboxed Wilder and he fucking TKO'd him. If Garcia sticks to boxing against Tank, he could do the same thing. He can actually beat Tank. But if Garcia wants to do what he did against Luke and go forward, he will get hit by a fucking shot and get knocked down or knocked out. And if he can't hurt Tank, just like Tank's last fight, he just ran through that Mexican fighter. I forgot his damn name. But anyway, if Ryan can't hurt Tank, it's over for Ryan. Because Tank is going to walk him down. But Ryan has to stick and move. That's the only way he can beat Tank.
All right.
And that I agree with that because he has to utilize his boxing ability and the length that he has for Tank Davis, because if Leo Santa Cruz was a problem for him and if he had power, Tank would have been hurt in that fight. So yeah, you're absolutely correct from my perspective.
Yeah. If Ryan Garcia could keep Tank on the end of his punches with his range, Tank could be in for a hard night. Do you know what I mean? It's just
and I believe Garcia has the power to hurt anybody in that division if he catches him, right?
Of course. Yeah,
he punches. He's got punching power with both hands, but he could also outbox Tank if he uses his length because he's got quick hands. All you got to do is let his hands fly, and he might be able to outpoint Tank Davis. He keeps him on the outside. Doesn't the kid have fast hands?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And the Tank is like 5'2". No, he's like 5'5" or something. So yeah. All right.
Now Tank is 5'4".
Guys, hold on. We gotta move on. Caller, thanks for calling. Call back again next time.
All right, peace.
All right. So the phone lines are done. I could restart them, but then again, I promised everybody that we were gonna have a second Renaissance show. It's already 7:04. What do we do, guys? What do you want? What do you want?
It's up to you, brother.
It's up to you guys.
I won't be coming on the second Renaissance.
Stu doesn't like the second Renaissance.
Well, then why don't we keep the boxing going a little longer so Stu can talk? So
it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I've just politics.
The world is toxic, Stu.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't have to talk about politics. Hey, Stu, then let's talk about like fucking underworld crime or something. Let's stay away from politics. It's too poisonous.
Well, I already planned to talk about
it
how
drains
Mike
the life out
Pence.
of me when I hear about politics these days, because for me, they're all the same. A conservative or a Democrat, they're all the same when it comes to the politicians in charge. They've, you know, and when you see elections being rigged and stuff, and fucking, and our leaders letting China just release this disease on everyone and do nothing about it. I'm not saying they should go to war with China, but at least put sanctions on them.
They probably knew they were releasing that disease. That was the only chance they could win. If they didn't have that fucking lockdown, they wouldn't have been able to pass all those laws.
That's where I am. That's where I am with politics. It just depresses me when I put the news on. It just depresses me. I could have a good day, and I'm guaranteed the media will put something on that depress me. Like, do you know what I mean? Oh man, it's very rare I watch TV these days. I'm here with you guys, or I'm not with my missus. I'm on Netflix or watching the internet, YouTube stuff.
All right. Well, listen. All right. I think we're gonna have to do a second Renaissance show. I promise everybody, and it's 7, and I don't want to go on for too late. We can do another boxing show tomorrow anyway, so let's go.
Yeah, it's not even about boxing. It's just politics for me. It's just
I know the reason why. I was just joking when I asked you that. When I said that you didn't like the second Renaissance, I know why you don't want to.
No, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. It's just when it gets to politics, it's just you got to remember these days, man. You go to prison for saying something on YouTube. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Let's transition to the second Renaissance, people. All right, everybody that just want to talk boxing, thank you for joining us. The second Renaissance link is in the chat. If you're sensitive to political issues or the paranormal or stuff like that, then maybe that's not a show for you. But,
what's the topic tonight, brother?
Well, I was going to talk about what's going on with Mike Pence, the traitor, and stuff like that. But I don't know.
No, we can talk about that too. Yeah, no,
but now I don't know.
Just trying to get Pence sold out.
Yeah, he's sold out, man.
He's not going to. He's not going to fucking. Pence has the ability, if he wanted, not to let this go through. But there's so much precedent. Listen. Come the 20th, Biden's going to be president, probably within a year, then Harris. But the fact that they got the Senate too, listen, this world, this country is about to change in a very ugly, dark way.
All right, let's go to the second Renaissance.
They brought on themselves. Anyone stupid enough to vote for the Democrats deserve their own demise.
All right, stay on Discord if you want to go to the second Renaissance. Djibouti, stay there as well. I don't know if Djibouti's still there. Yeah, he's all right. Everybody, stay where you are, and if you are on YouTube,
okay.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube,
Jimmy,
just click the link.
I'll wait till you get off there. Are you off there yet, Mucho?
I'll be back. You stay here. All right, everybody on YouTube, thank you for joining us, and maybe Mr. BDA will host the show tomorrow. We're not sure, but for sure there will be one like tomorrow or Saturday. But thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. Have a good night. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. Jesus Christ, get those likes up. Come on. Come on. No, but seriously, great show. I liked it. We'll see you next time. Trying to find the music. Here we go.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in everyone. Disappointed in everyone. All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
Let's just kill those fucking men.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.